chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you need to run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the baddest. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the DMs alive. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Armpit tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Booking a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about!
I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good intro.
I hate God!
Hit the dot. Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner. Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
Part of the song always trips me the fuck out right there because I think I fucked up something. But no, it's just part of the goddamn song. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Dirt Sheet Dudes, Wednesday night. I am Box Man, and sitting across from me, just unmuted his microphone, is the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only Smarkety Smark. What's up, Smark Wahlberg?
You got it. What's up, Daddy-O?
Oh, not much at all, man. Just got kids out there yelling like usual, and it's a regular. Mm-hmm. It's the regular Wednesday night at the old Box Manor, as we used to call it. I think that was Weebs that used to call it that, the old Box Manor.
That was me. I would rigorously suggest that you called it that, and after a while you finally gave in and acquiesced.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Weebs, though, did have a birthday this week, so happy birthday to him.
Yes, happy birthday to him, most definitely. I did see that, and I think I said something. Look at that. I got kids coming in here, diving for stuff. Are you going to school? You need your backpack for something?
Yeah.
Okay, see you tomorrow. What the fuck is going on in my house? Anyway.
An early start?
I'm not that one. My other one, maybe. Not that one. That one would get an early start to dropping out. Oh, he hates school, and I know the feeling. I was the exact same way. I hated school. So when my kids start, like, he'll do something, and I'll just look at my wife and go, you might want to talk to him about that one. Because I get it.
I hated school as well.
I did, and I do regret that I didn't finish, but I'm literally missing a half a credit. I just didn't want to go back. They screwed me over. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is Dirt Sheet Dudes. You have met us. Eric will join us in a little while. And I guess we can go ahead, Smark, knock out plugs. We have a ton to get into tonight. I did not think there was a bunch to get into, but there's actually a bunch to get into. So we will get into it as we go. Let's go ahead, we will knock out plugs when I put something in the Mixler to play behind the plugs that we're not going to get in trouble for. Let's do this. Let's go right to here. And give me a second. Okay, there we go. We got that done, Smark. All right, we can go ahead and start these plugs. That means you guys know what we're starting with. That's right. We've got the high marks. It's Cheeseman. It's Mojo. It is Gee Whiz. And you should be checking them out on Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. You guys know how to spell Mitt. I don't need to keep telling you there's 2 T's in Mitt. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. And that is Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Check it out. You can also go to YouTube. Those guys are right there. Again, Metal Mitt Network. And we got the shout out to Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, the Inhumans on the Inhuman Experience. Go listen to that show. You should be subscribed already. If you're not, what are you, crazy? Come on, get subscribed already. And of course, you've got to check out Eric. He'll be here in a little while. I'll go ahead and knock it out real quick. He's going to be on the Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast, EUP Network on Blog Talk Radio. Check him out. And Stephen Milan sharing the show. He's on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan, with 2 L's in that last name, Milan. Check him out over there. He's reviewing films and Hollywood Hangout. I'm not sure when I'm doing the show because we are going to do Royal Rumble. Matter of fact, we're going to have Cheese Man on with us Saturday night. We're going to do the Royal Rumble live. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Haven't watched WWE in a while, so it'll be fun to watch the Royal Rumble. And we will definitely be checking that out. So anyway, one way or another, I'm going to get Roadhouse done either Friday or Sunday. Maybe on Saturday early. One way or another, you're getting a Roadhouse show from me this week. And there is way more information that I found that I did not know. I figured it would be an easy movie to do. But my God, there are so many tidbits about that movie. It's going to be a good one. Smark, let it rip, my man.
You got it. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network, on the Mixler machine. It is Cheese on Sports with Cheese Man. He's going to be joining us Saturday. Gee Whiz, I believe he will be joining us Saturday as well. You also have Luke Birch, Matt, and myself. We are talking the NFL playoffs. We're talking the UFC, NBA, NHL, whatever you need, whatever you want. We've got you covered. Check us out. I believe there's a new graphic for the show, and if you haven't seen it yet, it is absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be taking the world by storm, so look out for that on the old social media. But what else you want to be checking out for is the Mo Dirks, the Machine Guns with Mojo, with Dirk. And last but never least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Rag on Tour.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Planet Rag on Tour podcast with the Bobby Anthem, Poppy Dave Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes of Season 1 are available for you, as well as Season 2, which is dropping as we speak. And also be sure to give them a follow on the social media because they post the excerpts so you can listen to the stories in clip form.
The old social media.
That's it.
There you go, folks. All right, those are done. Which means I can pause Mixler and we can get into some actual wrestling and kind of get working on this because I have... I've been sick for about 5 days now.
Ooh.
Oh, man, my throat has been killing me. I've been tested. I'm good. But my throat's fucking killing me. I don't know why.
It's an audio medium, and there's a mask. None of the masks are close to me, so I won't commit to that bit of throwing one over my face.
I think it'll be all right. I mean, we're at least 6 feet apart here, right?
I would hope so. Cyberspace is weird, though. You never know how things are transmitting over these here wires.
I mean, we are transmitting, but not in that way, Smart. It's not the way it works. It's not how it works. It's not. You can't transmit this way. It's not. No. But
I got the firewall. Be all right.
Exactly. We have firewalls to protect us. Anyway, enough of that bullshit. Let's go ahead, like I said, get into a little bit of wrestling. We're definitely going to be talking AEW. Tonight was Beach Break from Ohio. Didn't look too beachy.
Indeed.
Didn't look too beachy, but...
I believe it was in the single digits, as Tony Schiavone said.
Whoosh. Good show, though. Good show tonight. Really great start, great end, and good shit in the middle. It was really just pretty damn good show. But we'll get into that later. Let's go ahead and get into just a little bit of news, as we usually do. And then, Smark, I do have one quick question, though, before we get into news. Did you see the GCW thing at all this weekend?
The pay-per-view? Yes, I did.
Okay, good. Good. I didn't see it, but there's a few things that I did see that we're definitely going to get into tonight. And I wanted to, it'll be good that you saw it. So we'll get into a few things on that. Okay. Let's just start with this couple of, as we usually do, a couple of little quick things going on. And then we do have shitty takes on wrestling. And Bully Ray was kind enough to just completely take over that segment this week. The worst take in wrestling. I think Bully Ray might. This might even take it for the year, and we're only in January. But all right, let's go ahead and start with this. Like I said, Keith Lee has filed for 2 new trademarks. One is Limitless. I thought that WWE had trademarked that a while ago. They may have abandoned it since. I don't know how long. Trademarks only last a certain amount of time. I'm not sure how long. I think it's a year. But he also trademarked not only a term, but a logo. He made it's an L, and it has an infinity symbol overlaying. And they're both for entertainment and merchandise purposes. So he's either looking to go somewhere, or he's looking to just get some shit put out on Pro Wrestling Tees to get some income coming in.
Yeah. I was briefly looking up how long a trademark lasts, and it's very much a sort of sorted bag. It depends on a couple of different parameters. So there's no real definitive standard. It's not one size fits all in that matter.
Well, you can obviously abandon a trademark anytime you want, because WWE quickly abandoned the Gunther Stark trademark last week after on Thursday, actually, they did that. So they definitely can abandon a trademark anytime they want. I would figure if you're not with the company and they're not putting your merch on, they don't really need to.
Right.
But I will say, if they did own Limitless and he snaked it from them, they're going to change their mind on that one pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll just blow money on fucking trademarks just so you can't get it.
That's the name of the game.
Well, I mean...
Hello, boys.
No! Jesus
Hola.
Christ. Eric's here. I don't have Skype pulled up.
I didn't know if you saw him.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have Skype pulled up here, and next thing you know, I heard an extra voice.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, sometimes on Skype we'll hear very strange voices, like ghostly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That was back.
How are you guys?
Not bad at all. But that was back when Shaheen used to. I'm telling you, his house was haunted, dude. We would just get women's voices coming through this thing at odd times.
I remember a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Happened more than once, and you know what? It's never happened again since THT went away. So
I mean, it's possible he himself might just be haunted.
He could be. It is possible. I mean,
I was gonna say
many of us are. We all
he's
have
had some bad luck.
We all have those skeletons in our closet, do we not?
Mm-hmm.
Skeletons.
Actually,
Yes.
believe it or not, I have a skeleton hanging up in the room right here. It's not even in the closet.
Well, and some of us just hang them up for show, just for anything.
Some of us are too lazy to take on Halloween decorations in their backyard. Is essentially what that amounted to.
I think we just took down fucking Christmas decorations last week.
Yup.
From out front. Actually, my neighbors still have their blow-ups out there. They're just not turned on. They're just sitting out in their front lawn.
That's always the saddest thing. Like, I always wonder what little kids think about that when they see just like deflated Santa Claus blow-ups or Frosty or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got, we had to take ours down. We have a giant, my wife got a unicorn dragon holding a giant, like, pot of gold. So I don't, we have that and a giant Santa, a Mickey Mouse Santa, of course, because, we have kids, so they pick out the shit every year. But
just isn't Christmas without a giant unicorn dragon holding the pot of gold.
I dealt with it for a very long time without it, Smark, so I think we would have been fine without that.
Hey, you never know.
Well, my wife also tried to buy a 50-foot Santa this year for $89, and I told her, fuck no.
That's actually a really good deal if you think about it, but I understand why you wouldn't want a 50-foot Santa occupying your yard space.
Eric, do you have a 50-foot Santa in your yard?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure. And you know what sucks? I hope she doesn't hear this. All her friends were like, buy it. And I'm like, motherfuckers, pay for it.
Well, that becomes the question. Also, where do you put a 50-foot Santa during like the 10 months of the year that you're not going to be displaying it?
Yeah, in my fire barrel. In my fire barrel in my backyard.
Wow.
Anyway.
That wasn't good enough that you killed Jesus. You got to kill Santa too. It's never enough for people.
We'd still have the Mickey Santa and the Dragon Unicorn, sir. So calm your ass down. All right. All right. Anyway, we didn't need to spend too much time on Keith Lee. We'll go ahead and move on. So now we got Eric here. He can jump in on the stories. We're popping up here. Yeah, you know what? Let me see here. How many did Smark? 1, 2, 3, 5. All right, 6.
I think I sent you one this week.
Yeah,
I wasn't keeping up on the wrestling news this week.
Oy, I don't fucking blame you. But Eric, you actually kind of brought a segment to the show of horrible takes on wrestling, and we're just going to go ahead and get into this. Bully Ray, like I said, did cover this for the week. Got on his little... It busted open as his show, right? No, Throwing Down was the show. No, I'm sorry. It was on Busted Open where Bully Ray said this. Bully Ray jumped on Busted Open Radio and was talking about the Moxley promo from last week and said that John Moxley should have apologized to the fans for missing shows.
For what?
What?
For ruining shows?
For missing shows. For not being there, for abruptly leaving to go to rehab. He should apologize to the fans for that.
For going to rehab and getting better?
Yes. He wanted... Yes. You see, this is the confusion. You see, Eric, this is the confusion, and I believe Smark actually sees the same thing here. First of all, coming from Bully Ray, or Bubba Ray, or the guy that used to start riots in ECW, remember him?
Yeah.
Do you, Smark, you were an ECW guy. I'm thinking back. Did he ever apologize for that? Whoa. What just happened there? You try that again.
I heard a cutout. I barely heard him.
Yeah, some reason, Smart, you're really cut out there like you're swallowing the mic. Try it again.
Again?
Yeah, that's weird. Your audio.
I thought it was just me. So it was you too.
No, your audio is completely like gone now. You sound like this. You sound like Charlie Brown's fucking teacher.
Well, I was doing that
Yes!
on my own for a minute there. Okay, there we go. So to get back to the question you asked me 5 minutes ago before the audio problem, did he ever apologize for calling people's moms crack whores and implying that their sisters were sucking dick behind the arena? No.
No. Okay. But
even more recently, he had a fan he fucking took backstage for booing his kayfabe heel wife.
Correct. Yep. Thank you. I didn't even think of that, but you are 100% correct. He did do that. Did he? He did. He did. I'm just going to go ahead and say, in my opinion, Moxley doesn't owe anybody a fucking apology. We all knew where he went. We knew why he went. It was made public. And that's all we needed to fucking know. He came back. He looked great. He was feeling great. He cut a great promo. No apology necessary. You know what? Him coming back, cutting that promo was his apology. There was no reason to say the words, "I'm sorry." We know he was sorry. We know he didn't want to. I doubt he wanted to go to rehab. He knew he had to go. That's a decision he made. I don't care whether his wife made it or he made it or they both made it. It doesn't fucking matter. The guy realized he had a problem. He took care of it. He came back, like I said, looks great. Great promo that he cut last week. Why does fucking Bully Ray just need to fucking shove his fucking opinion where it doesn't belong? Thank God Renee, his Moxley's wife, laid into his ass, and I'm glad she did.
Yeah, me too. Nobody owes anybody an apology for rehab.
No.
It's their personal choice and their personal life.
Yeah. And before I grab Smart here, I'm going to go ahead and kind of read a little what Renee said. And she did say this on the Throwing Down podcast, which I believe is Misha Tate's podcast. Yes, it is. Basically, she said this: "You talk shit about my husband. You talk shit about my family. That becomes personal to me, and that bothers me more. It also bothers me because Bully is somebody who I've always really enjoyed. I have always really liked Bully. I have said I had a good relationship with him despite other people not having a good relationship with him or having burned bridges other places and leaving a bad taste in other people's mouths," she said. Now, I did see a tweet where I don't think it might have been Paige was like, "No wonder everyone prefers Bubba." Or Devon. Sorry. Devon. Was it Paige, Smark?
It was.
It was. Way to go, Paige. She's got a point. I mean, Devon was always the one well-liked backstage.
Yeah.
Bully Ray
I've
was
always liked him better, too.
Bully Ray was always a problem that we always heard backstage.
He just looks like an asshole.
Oh,
he does.
man.
He looks like...
No,
How do I put it? He looks like someone that you just want to punch.
I totally get it. I said the same thing about Lex Luger for years.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
He has that punchable face.
And I was right, by the way. I just want everyone to know that. I was right. But anyway, I mean, Smark, what do you got on this? Should Moxley have apologized to you, me, all the other fans out there?
Okay. So I don't think that he should. A, first off. B, do not think it was a good take that Bubba had. But C, here's where I do something I'm probably going to regret. I think that these people who often talk about how toxic and bad Twitter is, and how everybody just likes jumping on people, isn't it a little bit hypocritical to just go all in on somebody because they said something you didn't like? I think his opinion was dog shit on this, but I also wasn't sitting there adding him and being like, "Oh, you're a fucking terrible human being. How dare you?" What Renee did was perfectly fine because that's her husband. She has every right in the world to defend him.
Yeah.
But everybody was jumping on this guy and he said something dumb, but I mean, it's Twitter. Everybody says something dumb on Twitter almost every day.
Well,
exactly.
True. And I mean, listen, he knew he stepped in shit when he said this. And you're right. Renee definitely had the right to say something. But yeah, I totally agree. No apologies needed. It didn't need. What the fuck? You know what, Bully Ray? I think you should go on an apology tour for everything you've done in wrestling and every person you've ever wronged in wrestling before. Everyone. I want the Bully Ray apology tour.
This is
I
true.
want him
Like
going
I said, it's a
around.
bad fucking take, obviously.
Yep. No.
But I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. I think there's something a little bit hypocritical to like talking about how bad Twitter is and how people just jump on
I
people
got
and
you.
then everybody jumping on him. Like again, bad take, and he is one of the worst fucking minds in wrestling. Like he was like almost single-handedly responsible for killing Ring of Honor. So it's like he has a bad track record with just like any wrestling ideas at all. But
Yeah.
I kind of didn't necessarily see the need to fucking crucify this guy the way that a lot of people were. But
I mean, crucify, no, and you're right. It is pretty hypocritical when people go out there and they're like, it's so toxic, and then they just add to the toxicity of it.
mm-hmm.
I totally see where you're going there, and you're right. I mean, yes, it was a shitty take. I
Absolutely
just think he really needs. As a matter of fact, they actually Renee even said he hasn't called to apologize to me for his shit take either. So.
Oh, by the by, speaking of people jumping on people, and this will be an opportunity for, I guess, us to acknowledge it. Did you see Shotzi got herself in a little bit of trouble?
Was this the thing over the meatloaf thing?
Yep. It sure was. It sure was. So Meatloaf passed away on Friday. Louis Anderson, too. It was a bad day for fat white men, as me and Box talked about a messenger. I kept myself in the house just out of precaution. She posted, I just had meatloaf the other night. So strange, or something of that nature. Like, I could dig up the exact quote, but it's pretty much on that. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Whoa, I ate meatloaf last night, RIP. And then I guess, I don't know, I didn't read the comments to it, but it was apparently so bad that she had to like issue this like apology statement that she didn't mean anything by it and she wasn't trying to make a joke.
Yeah,
because apparently people just jumped on her for what was just like, I mean, it was a dumb fucking tweet, but
again, though, people make and you know what? I saw where she was going. She actually said she was making a meatloaf and listening to Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. So I get where she was going. It was weird. It was odd. It was ironic. But maybe word that better, like, with an RIP or something. I did actually get to talk about Meatloaf a little bit on Saturday night on the Lachlan Monroe episode because Meatloaf did do some movies. So, matter of fact, he has 104 credits to his name, believe it or not, in movies. Believe it or not.
he's in a lot of things. He was in that Tenacious D movie.
He was in that. He was in, obviously, we talked about he was in Fight Club. So I did get to talk a little bit about him. But yeah, that was a pretty fucking bad take. But, but again, I get where she was going. It was ironic that he passed away after the night before she was making this. But what if we said sometimes it's better to just don't hit send? Just wait a few minutes.
Yeah.
Wait. Just wait 5 minutes. And if it doesn't feel right, don't hit send.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Like, I'm not mad at her, but I thought it was funny that just so many people fucking descended upon her that she had to, like, just write an apology for what was, at worst, could have been perceived as, like, a dumb joke. Like, it didn't seem like there was anything malicious or disrespectful about it. It just seemed like, oh, that's weird.
Well, you're not allowed to start joking about things until I'm not quite sure when the actual time would be. And again, she wasn't even telling a joke. She was just bringing up the irony that she was listening to Meatloaf, making a meatloaf. Meatloaf passes away.
Right. Like I said, at worst, it could have been perceived as a dumb joke. It wasn't even a dumb joke, and it wasn't even, I guess, intended as a dumb joke. But
right.
Like, that was at worst case scenario. That's what it could have been. It wasn't even like, it's whatever. Like, people just feel the need to get outraged about everything, I reckon.
And I'm sure every person in this country and every other country who made a meatloaf the night before made the same joke, just didn't do it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting by the water cooler. I made a meatloaf last night. Oh, what did I do?
Okay. I said meatloaf expired. Yep. Just not on Twitter, so I don't have to apologize for it.
God, there you go. There you go.
I guess our press secretary will have to issue an apology now. But...
Thank God we've got. No, we don't. No, we don't have one of those. But all right, let's. You know what, Smark? You shot one over. Actually, you shot a few over. Take your pick, sir.
All right, let's do it. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this one because it's the first one that came up. How about that? There's a theme to that.
Yeah.
So we have the Royal Rumble coming up. That is, of course, this Saturday. I will tell you who is not going to be at the Royal Rumble. The former IIconics. The WWE released many wrestlers over the last couple of years, but they might have realized that they don't have enough women for the Royal Rumble. Fightful Select reported today that WWE called some former talents who have been cut in the former IIconics who refused. According to the report, WWE reached out to Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee, who are current Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. That's a very wieldy word phrasing as the inspiration in order to have them come back for one night only. The two are said to be happy where they are, which is sad, and aren't interested in returning for one single show. In order to fill the void of a thin roster, WWE called back several legends and alumni, such as the Bella Twins, Lita, Michelle McCool, and they announced her as a legend, Summer Rae and Mickie James, with the latter also being released by WWE in 2021.
Yeah. I saw this, and I mean, it's good that they're happy where they're at. They're probably under contract and probably can't do it.
No, they had the Impact's approval, like Mickie James did.
Oh, okay. Well,
so they just flat outright said, look, hey, we are happier being in Impact than having to put up with your shit again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to use us, and it's your fucking fault. You fired too many women, and you don't have enough women for the fucking Rumble. Sorry.
Yeah.
Your fault.
They're basically saying, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
They're basically saying, we don't want to get thrown out in 10 seconds. Just to be, we don't want to make an appearance just to be thrown out in 30 seconds.
Yeah. All right. One more time, just for weebs. It's going to be like this. Get out there, Linda. Oh, all right. That hurt.
She comes out like number 30, and she just very slowly points at the sign.
Gingerly walking to the ring.
That's how she wins. Everybody, the whole match just happens. Like she didn't even come out at number 30. She comes out like number 3, and the rest of the match just happens as she saunters down to the ring.
Oh God! Oh, that hurt. I hope I didn't blow anyone's ears out. I'll have to make sure I turn that one down. Post show. Jesus, I forgot my throat was fucked up. I can't be doing Vince all night tonight. But yeah, hey. Like I said, maybe they just figured, fuck it. This is their fault. Why are we going to go bail them out? Did they ever bail us out? I mean, they bought...
No.
Well, wait a minute. I believe the company may have bought new boobs for each of them. If they did, that's fine. That was a great acquisition by the women. But, yeah, good. Listen, if they're happy in Impact, that's great. That's awesome. I mean, they're actually getting more fucking like press now than they ever did in WWE. So, man, good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're right,
and
Smark.
They have their own podcast too. So.
Oh well, I mean, who doesn't?
That's true. Yeah.
Who doesn't at this point?
Everybody has even 2 podcasts now.
Yeah. For a second there, I thought you said Tupac had a podcast. That wouldn't surprise me either.
I swear to God, I thought that's what I heard too.
I'm
I was
glad.
picturing
Thank
holographic
you.
Tupac having his own.
Thank you, Smart. Glad you heard the same thing I did.
I heard 2 podcasts, which would probably be pretty awesome. Somebody just hit a good soundboard of Tupac clips.
I'm telling you now, it wouldn't surprise me if the guy had a podcast. I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing at this point. Nothing at this point could surprise me. Not a goddamn thing. I'm telling you now. So, all right. So yeah, I got nothing more on that. And anybody else on the IIconics or
No.
Inspiration or whatever they're called now? Perspiration.
I'll just say Peyton Royce is not nice looking like that.
She is really. Some of the pictures she's taken lately are very. There's one of those two trying to eat an apple together. Very nice picture. There's some good ass grabbing going on there. To quote Chaz Palminteri in Night at the Roxbury. That is what he said. There is some good ass grabbing going on there.
I've not seen that in quite a while.
I watched it. That's what made me want to do the Lachlan Monroe episode. And
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. And I'm glad I did that episode, man. That guy, he deserved a whole episode on him because the guy worked his ass off. 254 fucking credits, dude.
Nice.
254 movies or TV shows or whatever this guy has done. And you got to remember, some of those are multiple episodes in TV shows. So, guy works his ass off and deserved an episode. Really did, in my opinion. So, all right. And Smark, speaking of women, they're trying to get back for the Royal Rumble. They are pushing for Ronda Rousey to return maybe as early as the Rumble, but they're thinking WrestleMania might be another spot she might be able to, but probably at the Rumble. And when I read this article, I was thinking, no shit. They're scrounging for anyone they can get back. So my thought when I read this article was, no shit. Of course they are.
Mm-hmm.
What was your thoughts when you saw this, Mark?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I was listening to Meltzer talk about this a little bit, and he had a interesting kind of take on this. Was if they use her for the Royal Rumble, they kind of have a problem on their hands, theoretically. It's hard to tell how people are going to react, to be sure, but if you have her come in and win, then people are probably going to boo because she just comes right back and she wins and she's already getting pushed to the moon again. But if you have her come as a surprise and she loses, then that makes her look bad. So it's like, what do you do? Like, how are you going to play this if you do end up deciding to use her? And I guess they want to because they don't have a lot of people. So it's interesting to see how they're going to play this. But there is also the kind of aspect of everybody that's not us, the people that like follow the wrestling news and shit, it's going to theoretically be a big surprise. Like they're hopefully going to be getting a lot of coverage on like ESPN and like national news and shit that it's this big surprise, huge deal that Ronda Rousey came back and won the Royal Rumble or was in the Royal Rumble or whatever. So it's a good buzz opportunity for them, but it's also a bit of a paradox as to how they're going to use her.
Yeah, this speaking of Wrestling Observer, this is from Wrestling Observer Online. And it actually says that WWE is they're describing the situation as a poorly kept secret.
Right.
In other words, they're leaking that they're trying. I mean, but again, they're scrounging for anyone they can get. I do see Meltzer's point. You know what they'll do. Charlotte will be the one to throw her out. Built-in feud. Done.
Yeah, probably.
Built-in feud. Done. Because that way she doesn't, I think that's probably the only way they would be able to do it. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, we're going to be watching live on Saturday, so we will definitely watch with everybody, whoever everybody wants to join. I was thinking we go on a little bit early, maybe during the pre-show, and knock out some quick predictions.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to do them tonight. And if anything changes on Friday, I mean, someone could come down with COVID by Friday, and everything changes.
I'm back.
Yay! I'm opening another beer. Okay. Sasha Baron Corbin says they should bring back Joy Giovanni. All right, I could deal with Joy Giovanni. coming back.
Joy Giovanni, Maria,
Maria,
Layla. I actually kind
Layla.
of think that they probably will bring back Maria. She doesn't have a lot going on at the moment.
But she's in
NWA.
Yeah, aren't they contracted? No, weren't they? No, they
Was
were
it MLW?
no, they were in ROH last.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
They may not have a contract at all as of January 1st. I don't know. But I don't know, she might come back. But remember, part of her problem in that company was the Bella Twins, if I'm remembering correctly. Who are rumored to be coming back. So I don't know if Maria would come back. She really doesn't. They really don't get along.
Well, as a one-shot deal. I mean, I'm not talking about like permanently, but just for a quick paycheck.
Maybe. You never know. You never know. But I think Rousey would be a good one to get back. The thing is, does she want to come back? Is she just ready to sit home and be a mother, or does she want to get back out there and do this? I don't know. It's completely up to her.
I thought it was confirmed that she is coming back, or is that not 100% confirmed?
Nothing's really confirmed. It's just it's right now. It's rumor that more than rumor. They're leaking it that they're trying to get her back, but no shit, they're trying to get her back. They're trying to get every woman. I mean, they're trying to get any woman they can get in there. They need bodies for this match.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think she'll win it if she comes back?
No.
Set up Becky and Ronda.
Nah, that's what we were just talking about. No, I see Charlotte throwing her out. And then they revisit that feud where she left, kind of literally coming back where she left off.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't think they're going to do Lita and Charlotte?
I mean, I'd prefer to see that. I mean, but maybe. WrestleMania? No. Ronda would be a bigger draw than Lita. I really, really think that. Not that Lita's not a draw. I'm not saying that at all. I like Lita, but I think the bigger draw would be Ronda Rousey. She's got more of a name, been around longer, still a very popular name.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be Becky versus Ronda.
Maybe. Could be Becky versus Ronda. That could be one way to go. I mean, that's a revisit also, because it was Becky Lynch and Charlotte in a three-way, so it could go either way.
And Becky's the one that pinned her, right? To win both belts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, all right. I got nothing more on that. It's just this company is looking for women to be in the Rumble. I don't even know. I mean, how many do they have confirmed right now?
They put out a list. I can dig it up, but yeah, I think it was only like maybe 10 or so.
It's gotta be awesome, dude. They're gonna be having people come out there 2 and 3 times and put on a mask.
Yep.
Get out there.
If they hadn't already done that and gotten such bad results, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had fucking guys coming out in wigs.
Bring back Santina.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Smart. There you go. Now you're thinking. Okay. SBC is saying they got 21 women actually confirmed right now. That's not bad. All right, so we got 9 spots to fill. I mean, that's only 9 masks. That's not bad.
Trying to find a list here, but we'll see.
It's only 9 masks, 8. 30 is going to be a surprise. Probably 8 masks. That's a nice even number there, Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Should be able to go to Wiki.
Yeah, it's actually probably the easiest way to go there. Yeah.
Oh, Wiki. So, while you're digging that up, let's get in something we don't need to spend a shitload of time on. We kind of went through all this last week with Mustafa Ali. But reports going around, they are not going to be granting him his release. This will actually bring us into 2 stories. Mark, this will bring us right into your story also. So prepare yourself. But I mean, this was what we were talking about last week. This is exactly what we said last week. You know, I didn't think they would. I said I don't see him granting this release. And then literally, of course, the next day after our show, they come out and say they're not going to grant him his release, and they haven't as of yet.
Right.
So, you know, he's trying to get out of his contract, and they're not going to do it. But from what they're saying, I believe Fightful was saying that he doesn't just have months left or a year left. He's got years left on his contract. So,
Yikes.
Yeah. But I think you guys know what's going to happen. Right after WrestleMania, there's going to be that other, what are we going to call these? Round of releases, I bet. He'll be thrown in there. They'll mark my words, they're going to give this guy a little bit of a push maybe in like a month, and then they're going to start fading it away. And then right after WrestleMania, I got a feeling he's going to be released. Not that I want anyone to be released, but it might be a good thing for him. If he's wanting his release, it would be a blessing in disguise for him. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's pretty. I don't like when they do this. If someone does not want to be where they are, unless you reach an agreement of some sort, if they don't want to be there, they're not going to put in the work. They're not going to put in the fucking effort. I mean, I've said this before. When I was a manager, like a warehouse manager or something, if someone gave me their 2 weeks, I just let them go. Just go. You ain't doing shit for the next 2 fucking weeks. And I mean, what am I going to do? Fire you for not doing shit when you quit already? No. I used to just tell them to go. Go ahead. Get out of here. When I worked for my parents' company, when I was running the plant, if someone quit, I would just literally tell my parents, pay him for 2 weeks and let's just let him go home, because they wouldn't do a goddamn thing. So that was also 20 years ago. I'm not sure if it's gotten any better. I kind of doubt it has. But speaking of releases, Smart, or asking for releases, Smart, like I said, you've got one you can kind of tie right into this little story here.
I do. I am trying to get to the screen took up a little second there. We have the list as well, and I'll get to that after we're done here, of the Royal Rumble participants. SPC posted in the chat, and there's also one on the Wikipedia. So there you go. In addition to Mustafa Ali, there's another report for a release that will probably be granted. This is less of an issue. Let's see here. Brian Kendrick has reportedly requested his release. Reading is fundamental, kids.
Has recently reported his release.
He recently reported that his release was reported and requested, and too many R words. I had a meltdown there. Hooked on Phonics is coming any day now in the mail, thanks to Amazon.
All right.
Take two. Brian Kendrick has reportedly requested his release, first time, every time, from WWE, and is awaiting to have his request granted. PW Insider reported today that Kendrick requested his release from WWE weeks ago. It was noted that Kendrick hasn't been at the recent NXT/205 live shows after requesting his release. It was announced last month that Kendrick would be returning to the ring to face Harland. We all know who Harland is, on the December 28th episode of NXT, but the match never happened. The match was set up by an angle where Harland attacked Kendrick and threw him down a flight of stairs, a la Brock Lesnar and Zach Gowen. In a video uploaded by WWE in March of last year, it was revealed that Kendrick had transitioned from an in-ring competitor to being a producer for NXT and 205 Live. The 42-year-old Kendrick hasn't wrestled since October 2020. Kendrick was part of the relaunch of WWE's Cruiserweight division in 2016 after taking part in the Cruiserweight Classic. And then it mentions how Mustafa Ali is also requesting his release. So apparently Kendrick wants out because he doesn't want to dye his hair because I guess he's an agent now. But he wants, we talked about last week how they want their trainers and, backstage staff to look younger and hipper.
Yes, I guess in case they get caught on camera or out in public. That's the only... I literally was like, after the show, I tried to think of some reason that Vince would want that. That's the only reason that makes any bit of sense, is that if they're seen in public, TMZ catches them or something at an airport or something, he wants them to look younger for that reason. For what? Pictures with fans? And again, like I said, this man looks like the fucking crypt keeper coming out there. And he's fucking, you first, Vince. You first.
I heard somebody describe him as it looks like his face is falling off, and they're pretty right.
Not looking well. I mean, the guy's what, 76, 77, 78 years old? Anywhere around there.
Yeah, in his 70s.
I mean... Let's face it, I hope to be that youthful when I'm in my 70s too. But
I believe his mom is still alive. So that family has fucking genetics that they might not age well, but they last long. 76 is Vince McMahon.
All right, there you go. I knew it was right in between 76 and 78. Now, let me just say this here, or I'm actually going to ask a question to you guys. Now, he is a producer backstage. This is not the first backstage talent that wanted their release. We had Scotty Too Hotty a couple weeks ago, a little over a month ago. I'm sorry. Are these guys seeing the writing on the wall? That's my question. Is that what's happening, or is it the fact that maybe they don't want to dye their hair, like Smark said?
I think they see the writing on the wall.
Okay. So and by writing on the wall, obviously, I do mean the fact that all these changes, that everything's looking different, the company is different, it's not the same thing, and just they're not liking... I mean, rumor going around is that, USA isn't really liking what's going on NXT 2.0 either. But... Right. I mean, I just wonder if they're starting to see the writing on the wall, or is there something else going on that none of us know about? And let's face it, these guys can go on interviews and say whatever they want. Doesn't mean it's the truth. They probably would take a job again if they were offered it. So, fucking gluttons for punishment they are.
Yes.
But I don't know. So, Smart, what do you think? Writing on the wall, or doesn't want to dye his beard?
I mean, I think interestingly enough, I was reading a thing the other day about Phil Hartman. And he was saying, they talked about him wanting to leave Saturday Night Live. And he was saying basically you just saw all of his friends were leaving, going on to other things. And nobody that was there anymore was familiar with him. And he wasn't familiar with them. And he just kind of wanted out.
Right.
Kind of seems like this is a situation like that. Where just everything is changing so much, everybody, a lot of people that, the workers are getting fired and the trainers are changing up, and they're just getting rid of so many different members of all aspects of the production, wrestlers, agents, trainers, all that kind of shit. And just seems like, I wouldn't want to be in a position where I'm constantly worried every time there's a revenue call the next day that I'm going to get fired. This is not safe. It's not safe. It's not comfortable. It's not a fun environment to have.
No, not at all. Going into work every day and saying, is this the day? That's the horrible, horrible way to go to work. And you're right. I mean, that could be what they're all thinking. They might just not want to sit around and wait to get fired. With all these changes going on, they are kind of getting rid of the old guard, and I'm using air quotes here. They are sort of getting rid of the old guard. Slowly but surely. And maybe these guys don't want to sit around and, be thrown around by fucking, Parker Boudreaux.
That's it.
Harlan, excuse me. Why? Why would he? I hope they grant it, and I think you're right, Smart. Right at the beginning, you said they probably will grant this one. It's not a big deal. He's not a talent. He's not on television. He's got a mini storyline going with someone, which they can flip the switch on in a second.
Right. I mean, they've fired people who have had big storylines actively ongoing.
Yep. And if they don't expect him, he might not make it to Mania. And he may quit. Yeah. I mean, these people can quit. It's just not the best thing to do. I would assume there is a being released clause in your contract, and I'm sure the quit clause is much stiffer penalties for you rather than being, because if you're released, you still have that 90-day or 30-day NXT, so he'd still get a month pay from them if they released him. But if he's granted his release, I don't think you get that. But granted your release and quitting are two different things. Granted your release means you're out of your contract. So,
right.
Obviously, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. I'm just, sometimes I think out loud and you guys get to hear it. Isn't that fucking awesome?
Hey,
yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
No worries.
I do too, except I'm high and it can go places that I probably shouldn't go. But anyway, I hope they give this guy his release. I really do. I actually like Brian Kendrick. Now, let's not forget he also trained Eva Marie. We can thank him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone? No? Okay. Let's just forget he did that and move on from that story. How's that? Okay. So now let's get into some fun stuff here. Something I called from day one when this guy was fucking announced for being in AEW. Smart knows where I'm going with this, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Lio Rush announced on social media that his AEW contract expires on February 14th of this year, 2022. And he's already starting to take bookings. He's ready to go. So very short stint in AEW. He has not been used in even before he made the stupid comment demanding Tony Khan apologize. What's with all the apologies being demanded lately? Wow, just thought of that. But even before that, he was off of television. Now, the funnier thing is that he spelled Gmail wrong when he was putting out his email. I thought that was hilarious. He put Gmial instead of Mail. All right, that's. But you would think someone you would check that. You would really look at that 2 or 3 times before you sent that, right? Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But anyway, let's keep going here. And basically, this is what it says. I'm going to give you the exact ones. Actually, you know what? He spelled it right. The website spelled it wrong. I apologize to Lio Rush for saying he can't spell. I mean, we did have a spelling bee on Raw, so let's be correct about this. Anywho, this is what the tweet was. He says, I'm a free agent. And there was a picture of him. And it says, on February 14th, 2022, my contract will expire with AEW and I will become a free agent. For all booking inquiries, please email leorushnow@gmail.com. I said this guy wasn't going to last long. He doesn't last long with any company. I said he was a time bomb. I knew he was going to say something stupid. He did. Yeah, he went. Go ahead.
I'll come and say it. Fox, you were right. I was wrong.
I got to admit, as much as I don't care for the guy, I don't like being right about someone not having a steady income. That doesn't make me happy at all, to be honest with you. But some people bring it on themselves.
And he did.
And I'm not saying that's the only reason. Maybe he already had a short-term... Sounds like he had a short-term contract anyway, which I would applaud Tony
That's
for.
smart.
I definitely applaud Tony for that one because I think he knows there's only a certain finite amount of time that Lio Rush will go without setting off his own time bomb. So Smark, go ahead. Please defend him.
Now, I have heard actually that this was his idea. That, like, he specifically wants short-term contracts. I don't know if there's any truth or validity to that, but I did hear that he doesn't want to be locked down to a company for an extended period of time. I think maybe because he knows that he's flaky.
Well, okay, that's great, but if you are really, really worth something, if the company wants you badly, they are not going to let you fucking go no matter how long your contract is. You see my point here?
Oh, no, yeah. I will say also to that point, we're starting to get to this point now where, because his name wasn't the only name that was mentioned, but we're starting to get to the point where their contracts are starting to come up. Because I guess basically Tony Khan, if you sign a contract with him, he lets you live out the duration of that contract unless you do something really fucking dumb, a la the whole, fucking, again, I forget his name, the British guy who done got himself in some trouble.
Jimmy Havoc?
Yep, Jimmy Havoc. Always confuse him with Jimmy Lloyd, and that's why I didn't say his name.
I got you back. I got you back, bro.
Yes, anyways. But so the idea is, because the other reports I was seeing were saying that Joey Janela, Margot Stunt, and Brian Cage's contracts are also coming up. And it doesn't seem like they're looking to renew any of those either. So it's just getting to the point where now certain talents just have run their course there.
Actually,
but with him, obviously, he's like the newest of those names. But what were you going to say?
No, actually, Marco Stunt put out a tweet right before the show. As of right now, I am accepting indie bookings and I'm ready to go anywhere. I have my passport as well. I have open dates that I'd love to fill: February 11th, 12th, 18th, 19th, and he keeps going February, March, April, May. I'm not going to read all these dates. But it seems he is officially gone from AEW at this point and looking to take indie bookings. So that was a tweet from him that I thought I would mention as we went through. But yeah, Smark, you're right. A lot of people are coming up on their bookings. Like you said, Brian Cage, Joey Janela. Brian Cage is one that I'm baffled by. Because the guy is a big guy. I know he's a shorter guy, but he's a jacked son of a bitch who can go out there and move like a fucking cruiserweight. He shouldn't be, but he can, and he does. How can you not find a spot for a guy like Brian Cage?
I have a theory.
It's interesting. Okay, go ahead.
What's interesting?
I think they're going to replace him with Keith Lee. Because Keith Lee's kind of similar in a way.
I think so too, but to that point though, they haven't been using him long before Keith Lee was even an option for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. Most definitely. But
I think it's because they have Lance Archer and what's his name? Warlow and all those other big guys. So
I mean, they do have a few more big guys in there right now. Now you got Brody King in there, who, like I said, looks like a fucking giant in a fucking land of Wizard of Oz people. I don't know. I didn't know how else to put that one.
we have another guy. I keep forgetting his name. He's with Taz, a big guy.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Hobbs.
Thank you.
They do have much bigger guys, but Brian Cage is just a freak looking of a man. I mean, literally, you could book that guy like you could almost book that guy like a fucking Lesnar.
Yeah.
Right.
Almost. And please, everyone, I'm not, you could just compare Brian Cage to Brock Lesnar. No, I'm saying you could book that guy like a fucking beast, like he looks like and like he is. He's the fucking Swolverine.
Yeah.
Get the fuck. I mean, what? Everything about that whole guy, his gimmick writes itself. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I would have preferred him over Lance Archer against Page right now, but I'm intrigued with Lance Archer and Page. So.
Oh, I mean, there's so many storylines you could put Brian Cage in. Again, he can work with the small guys. Matter of fact, Cage works with smaller guys better than almost any bigger guy I can think of right now.
Yeah.
Not in history, but right now. He knows how to work with the smaller guys very well. So I just don't know why you're not putting that guy out there like a fucking beast.
Even in the tag team.
Yes. Yeah.
Him and Powerhouse Hobbs could have been tag team.
I don't remember. This is another guy whose wife got him in trouble by kind of shit. I mean, she didn't really shit on the company. She was just sticking up for her man and baffled why they didn't use him more. So,
right.
You think he goes to WWE?
They had their shot with him, and they did this. They released him. They had their shot with him. They had him in there at one point.
Yeah, like prior to Lucha Underground, like he was there like really early on.
Yeah, exactly. I think he was actually there in the FCW days.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the company was still Florida Championship Wrestling at that point, so I believe that's when he was back in there. So I don't know.
Interestingly enough about him, real quick, he had a match this weekend with Will Ospreay that was like really good, and people were putting it over. But it's so crazy because that's just fucking independent wrestling for you if you've ever seen it. It was Brian Cage versus Will Ospreay for Warrior Wrestling. It happened in South Bend, Indiana. There was like 100 people at the show. I saw the show. So it's just like, this is a fucking huge match. And it was just like, how do you afford to do this shit? Because like they did not get their return on their investment. It was a very small arena.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But I will say, speaking of, indie shows, I guess we can just kind of transition this right into a little bit of GCW talks, Mark.
Mm-hmm. And we could double back on the Leo Rush thing. You're going to enjoy this too.
Yeah, I know. But let's go ahead and get into, just like I said, just a little bit of this talk. I think I might have accidentally shut a story down that I shouldn't have, but I have it here and I will get it back. Now, Smark, you saw the GCW pay-per-view.
Yes.
Now, once again, we've talked about Matt Cardona many times on this show. The guy's been reinventing himself. He might have been one of the best things right now to happen to GCW. Honestly, he really might be. He's getting a lot of heat, and people seem to hate him in this company. But he did wear a shirt, and they were at the Hammerstein Ballroom, the old ECW, arena.
To kind of set this up for you a little bit more too.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in the Hammerstein Ballroom, like you said, ECW arena.
Yep.
They're transitioning between matches. All of a sudden, Enter Sandman, a cover version, but Enter Sandman starts playing. And like people are getting kind of hyped up because obviously, put two and two together, they're expecting Sandman a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, out comes Matt Cardona he's got a Singapore cane with him, but he is obviously not the Sandman. And like you said, he has a flannel on.
Yeah.
And the flannel has something very interestingly inscribed on it.
Yes, it says "fuck Mick Foley."
Mm-hmm.
And it is in, it's the black and red, Mick Foley type flannel that he was wearing.
Yes.
But I got to say, this guy really has been probably not that GCW was doing bad. I'm not saying that at all. But, man, I'll tell you, he's really gotten this company a lot more press, a lot more hype, and a lot more noticeable. And I think it's pretty cool what he's doing. But this show had a lot of surprises, Smark.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so to first off, we'll get to this real quick. The show ended up running long because they were doing a pay-per-view.
Right.
So normally, if it's a regular event, they don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But if it's pay-per-view, you have a hard out that you got to get to.
Right.
So part of the reason is in part because of this Matt Cardona match, because it was a good match, but it's Matt Cardona, Joey Janela. They had a feud going on for a minute. There was about 18 fucking run-ins. Like, it was crazy. Chelsea Green got involved.
Oh,
Hornswoggle got involved.
Oh, God.
This guy, Sam Stackhouse, I think he's like a GCW like student, like I guess they had their own wrestling school. He got involved. Trying to remember everybody. Marco Stunt got involved.
There you go.
Brian Myers got involved to give him the win. He came dressed like Edge from the 2006 ECW pay-per-view. He had the fucking motorcycle helmet and trench coat. He speared Joey Janela. Cardona picked up the win. And then, of course, logically, if you've been following this feud, of course, it all makes all the sense in the world, in so much as it doesn't, that after the match, the Kings of Rock DX theme plays and out comes X-Pac. Who had nothing to do with this fucking feud the entire time that it happened. He comes out and he like cleans house and him and Janela celebrate. So there was a bunch of fucking run-ins. It became so convoluted. Like the last like 10 minutes of the match were just run-ins. It got so fucking bloated. It was crazy. Another reason, the alleged reason though, why the show ran so long, because the main event was literally 5 minutes.
Right.
Because it was the Briscoe brothers. They had an open challenge out. And for some reason, everybody thought it was going to be FTR. So everybody got disappointed because it was Nick Gage and Matt Tremont, which delivered the like moment of the show for me. Because Matt Tremont has that sort of fucking power ballad theme song. I forget what it's called, but it's that song, "Someday Love Will Find You."
Separate Ways. Journey.
Separate
Journey
Ways, okay.
By Journey.
Separate Ways by Journey, and it's amazing because there was everybody was like rocking out to it, but there was one guy that was serenading Tremont. So it was funny to see a bearded fat guy being serenaded by another bearded fat guy to the tune of Journey, Separate Ways.
Fucking Journey,
I had
man.
the time of my life. Because he was fucking headbanging, he was like throwing his hand out, he was looking at Tremont. Tremont was no-selling him. It was fucking wonderful.
Oh,
so that happened, but then the match was literally 5 minutes long. And they hurry up and hit that so that they could get out there in time, because you have like fucking 10 minutes of entrances between Tremont and Gage alone. And of course it was a Gage match, so you had to get a 5-minute after match speech about how he fucking loves everyone. So the main event was cut ultra short. And apparently one of the reasons that they ran short on time was because a match went long. The match involved Blake Christian and Leo Rush. So there you go. Leo Rush once again. Double back to him.
All right. Yeah, God, I could just hear that. They gave me. I love you, fucking pieces of shit.
Pretty much.
Fuck you, motherfuckers, and I love you, MDK, all fucking day. Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah, he hit the normal tones. He asked where his motherfucking gang was, and everybody cheered. And he said, we do this because we love you and thank you guys, and so on and so forth. And then everybody got in the ring and celebrated, and the show went up at the end.
Yeah, problem is they think they're really in a gang. Anyway.
More or less. It wasn't a bad show, honestly. It's just the last two matches was because they ran short on time. The main event was 5 minutes long, so that kind of sucked. Right. Because they just boom real quick. And then the championship match between Moxley and Homicide didn't really get a lot of time either because they were running short. So it was kind of a mixed bag. It was one of those things where, a company that had its first pay-per-view obviously isn't going to be that great in timing segments. So you live and you learn.
Yeah, exactly, man. When this was probably a very big learning experience from them. The fact that they even though they had to rush the show, they did get out on time, which will be probably a plus for them. They will be able to jump back on pay-per-view again, which I hope they do, man. I don't care what the buys were. I think it's just really, like I said, a step in the right direction for any company to be able to get on traditional pay-per-view. So anyway, what I was going to get to, though, and Smart knew this, was the flannel, the fuck Mick Foley, and of course, we know Mick Foley, he doesn't mind responding to things. So he did respond to this, of course. And here we go. Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley addressing the Matt Cardona situation. Matt took a shot at Mrs. Foley's baby boy with his interesting choice of ring attire. While I appreciate the GCW fans flipping him off on my behalf, while I appreciate my friend the Savage Gentleman whose wedding I officiated, that is real, wanting to do battle with him on my behalf. The truth is, from a personal standpoint, I was happy for him. Yeah, it made me laugh because I felt Matt was done wrong in WWE. I ain't gonna fucking disagree with that statement. He reached for the brass ring, grabbed it, and was asked to return it. Well, that's a powerful little sentence right there. That one sentence pretty much sums up his time in WWE, though. Very good sentence by Mick. Anyway, ultimately, everyone who leaves a major company has a choice to make when they hit the independent scene. The choice is, do I just do the same things I did, the things that I was known for, or do I reinvent myself? I call that the Drew McIntyre route, the road less traveled. This is what Matt Cardona has done. He's completely reinvented himself, and in doing so, has become one of the most enjoyable and valuable assets on the wrestling scene. And knowing that I'm playing just a small part in that reinvention, a tiny part, that makes me happy. And in conclusion, fuck Matt Cardona.
There you have it.
But really what caught my attention was the fact that I agree, Cardona, Zack Ryder was done wrong in WWE many times. We've talked about it multiple times on this show before. But this sums up his career. I really thought this was probably the best sentence, and I'd already said it, but he reached for that brass ring, grabbed it, and was asked to return it. That's pretty much exactly what happened. I mean, well, the Vince always talked about that. No one's reaching for that brass ring. He did. And he was over. He was over as fuck with the crowd. And then they asked him to return it. That's pretty much what they did. Next thing you know, he's involved in a storyline with John Cena and what was it, Eve Torres and
Kane.
And Kane. Kane was stealing his women.
Yeah, he was in a fucking wheelchair and he pushed him off the ramp.
Yeah, and Kane was taking John Cena's women's.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, it was a horrible.
That was so great because it's like the storyline was built on like him and John Cena being friends, and then like John Cena stole this girl, and then he was mad, but then he was the heel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Cena stole this girl. Why doesn't that make him the heel? I know he can't be a heel. He stole his woman.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Horrible. It's all starting to add up about this John Cena guy.
But like I said, I after that sentence, I do agree. This guy has gone on, reinvented himself, and like I said, he's been like a fucking like gasoline to the fire that already was GCW. But he's poured some gas on it, man, and gotten him just a little bit more. And he really has. He's been a great heel for that company. A great heel for that company. And I don't think anybody can deny that.
My absolute favorite, I don't think he made it, but he shared it on his Twitter like a while back. Somebody made a video edit of those old like 2000 hype videos that they would play for My Sacrifice by Creed.
Yeah.
And it was all just like him like walking through the ramp and like the arena and shit and all the GCW shows. And it was amazing because it was like, hello, my friend, we meet again. And it was just a bunch of people flipping him off and like throwing shit at him. And it was just like, it was amazing.
What were they?
I really love that.
I think they call those like the Desire videos, right?
Yep. Desire, WWE Desire, I think it was. Or it started off as WWF and then they transitioned, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah.
I do remember all those, and it was always Creed. You remember those, Eric? You remember those, Eric? Those videos?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were good. Some of those were really good. Creed, man. Talk about a band that got over. Whew.
Oh, I love Creed. Creed was awesome.
They were a Christian band, and no one got it for a while.
I didn't know that. Wow.
See?
There you have it.
They were basically like a church rock band that got over, and just because their songs were good and it was the 90s and people were just rocking out to anything that had fucking heavy guitar.
Oh, I love 90s music.
Oh, I do too. And pretty much any guy that was going,
Yep.
Pretty much.
Everything was over in the 90s.
Oh, dude. But some of that music was fucking great. Pearl Jam. You know what, man? I heard
it's amazing. I'm so glad that you said Pearl Jam because that was the first thing that came to my head when you did that. It sounded like you were doing a really good Eddie Vedder.
That was totally Eddie. Yeah. That was totally Eddie Vedder.
Mm-hmm.
It was. And I actually saw a video of theirs the other day. I don't know what I was watching, but it popped on, and I was like, holy fuck, this band was fucking over at one point, man.
Yes, they were.
Everybody loved them some Pearl Jam. I fucking love Pearl Jam, man. And that's it, yeah.
They still do well for themselves, actually. Because, like, I guess Eddie Vedder is, like, a big Cubs fan. He shows up at, like, a lot of the Chicago sporting events. So they do shows at, like, fucking Wrigley Field and Soldier Field. And they make themselves a lot of money.
You know what? I was actually watching a video on Facebook of Eddie Vedder, like, stopping his concert to bitch people out, which he's done many times. Eddie Vedder is not known to be a nice dude, which is kind of what started stifling him a little bit more in the 2000s. But yeah, that's what I was watching. And but they were playing like a few of his videos, and they played that. They played Jeremy, good song too.
Nice. Jeremy
was a good one. Even Flow, fucking awesome video, awesome song. There you go. Dirk just brought up Even Flow. It's like that good one. Pearl Jam was 90s music was fucking amazing, man. 90s.
Yes, it was.
90s rock.
I miss the 90s.
90s rock was great. Well, if you listen to the music for the show, I really haven't listened to much else besides 80s and 90s rock.
At one point, Antox described it as UFC music, and that made me laugh.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it
I
is.
was the ultimate in hypocrisy the other day, actually, because literally the other day, I was listening to, I was watching on YouTube. Somebody had posted like a half-hour block of 1998 commercials. And I was watching it. I got about 5 or 6 minutes in, and then YouTube stopped me with an ad. I was like, this fucking sucks. I got to wait for these commercials to stop so I can watch commercials.
Commercials.
And then that ruined it for me, so I had to go watch something else. I was like, you fucking ruined it.
Yeah. It was just a different time. And all the like commercials had like bending guitar music. Who was it? David
fucking
Cross.
Everything was extreme with an X.
Yes. David Cross was making a joke on how all like even egg commercials, he's like, egg commercials would have these bending guitar notes like, this ain't your daddy's egg. It's like, he was right. I like David Cross. He's a good comedian. All right. Let's get away from the 90s, I guess, guys. That was fun. I liked it.
I have a name for the show if you haven't chosen one yet. I'll give it to you at the end of the show.
If you say the 90s, I'm just going to have to slap you. Virtually.
I love the 90s.
Virtually, but I might just have to. Okay. All right. Let's move on a little bit here, guys. Smark.
Yes. Well, I guess stay in that vein temporarily.
That's what I was hoping.
We were talking about the GCW show. Mm-hmm. And while I bring it up, also to double back on something that we were talking about, like I said, Moxley was wrestling Homicide for the GCW belt. He is their champion. There was a very loud and very audible "fuck Bully Ray" chant during that match.
Yes.
So there you go. So to double back to the Matt Cardona thing, shout outs to the ECW fans because there's a lot of them in attendance apparently because at one point there was a Chelsea Swallows chant. And I don't think that's anything to condone. I don't think you should shame somebody for having a follow through. But anyways, I have dug in what it was that I was looking for up. So apparently on the for the pre-show, they did like an hour-long pre-show. They had 3 matches, I want to say. But for one of the matches in the pre-show, it was a scramble match. And Nick Wayne was booked. He's the son of Buddy Wayne, who was, I guess, a Portland wrestler back in the day. So he's a second generation wrestler. And he's got a lot of buzz and a lot of hype to him. But he was booked for the GCW show during the pre-show. Problem is they're in New York, so they have the New York State Athletic Commission to worry about, who are just a real swell group of guys. And problem number 2 with this, not only do they have to deal with the New York State Athletic Commission, Nick Wayne is 16 years old. Oh. So he was announced for the show, and up until the very last minute, he was pulled. And there was, to quote this, an anonymous email was sent to the New York State Athletic Commission on Thursday morning about Nick Wayne appearing at the GCW show, and he found out while at school. I guess he was in, like, last period. So it's just like, you're right about to get out of school. Way to fuck up your day. Not sure trying to temporarily roadblock a kid's progress who everybody pulls for will be really worth it in the long run. So that was a little bit of a commentary to that, but I wonder really, because it's going to be anonymous. We're never going to know who did this.
Right.
But apparently somebody just straight up fucking snitched to the athletic commission that he was underage, so he didn't get to do the show. And apparently he was like kind of hurt by it because it was, this like the biggest GCW show like that they've ever done. And it's like a pay-per-view show. So it was this big, huge deal. I was really looking forward to it. And they took it from under him. So it's like, that's a really fucking shitty thing to do. Imagine like, I really hope it was somebody that just like he went to school with that didn't like him, because otherwise it was a grown ass man who purposely fucking tried to ruin this kid's dream, which is a really shitty thing to do.
Okay, let me give you two. All right, let me give you two different opinions here. First of all, I snitching, bullshit, yes, but. Let's give the second opinion. He's 16 years old. If the kid gets hurt, something happens to him, something really bad goes wrong, there's going to be a bad liability problem with this company. He's under 18.
He has wrestled for them before. This is just strictly a New York State Athletic Commission thing.
I get it. But let's face it, you don't want the liability of an under 18 person out there possibly getting hurt. And let's be
Big
honest.
lawsuit.
And yeah, definitely, let's be honest, GCW is known for doing some bloody stuff every now and then. I don't know if Nick Wayne is one of those guys that does that, but...
Nah, he's straight up a pure wrestler for the most part. He does, like, high-flying moves.
Okay, which, that's great, but again, okay, he does a high-flying move, he breaks his fucking leg, he's 16, and somehow he snuck through and no one knew. Now you're going to have a problem with the State Athletic Commission. Right. Because they didn't know he was going to be there. So, all right. But again, I completely don't agree with, I wouldn't go and be like, kid's fucking 16. I wouldn't go snitch on anybody like that. I think that's pretty fucking shitty. And yeah, he was probably looking to get a good payday. But I do see where the problem would be if something, it's fucking wrestling, man. Something could always go wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't really see it as blocking a kid's progress as much as this person does, but I do see where, like I said, don't go run into people. Do your due diligence. If they know the guy, they probably look this fucking guy up on Google and figure out everybody that's at the show in their age.
Yeah.
So
well, there was him, and there's another person, Billy Starks, who is a female wrestler. I guess she's also 16. She was supposed to be on the show. That ended up not happening too. But yeah, you're not really going to block his progress because he has hype alone, just being the like second generation wrestler and all that kind of stuff. There's been a lot of people talking about him. He's done a lot of shows for GCW already. And it's just one of those things where it's like, unless something bad happens, like a bad injury, or he fucks up somehow by just being immature, he is destined like for something big in the near future. Like as soon as he hits 18, more or less, of being like, as much as WWE wants younger talent and multi-generational stars, and AEW is always hungry for people, like he's going to be set. He's going to be safe. Yeah. So it's just a matter of waiting out the next 2 years and him not putting his foot in his mouth or getting injured.
Yeah. I hope the best for him, but like I said, I do see where it could be a problem, but the anonymous email thing is a little...
It reminded me of, and I forget exactly why, but I think it was when they were also in New York for WrestleMania weekend, and we talked about on the show before, fucking Chris Cruz snitching. Mm-hmm. Like, that was straight up confirmed to be Chris Cruz, I guess.
Right.
I guess he snitched on them using, like, fucking light tubes or whatever.
Exactly.
But they got in trouble, and that part made me laugh.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty, too, so... But yeah, I think we kind of dug into that. Now, they just won't stop talking about 90s music. I got to say something, and I know I'm probably going to get even more shit for this one right here.
We got some hot takes.
I believe they're talking here about, they say Chris Cornell. He was STP, right? Stone Temple Pilots?
Yeah.
Never was a fan.
Oh, wait, no. That was Scott Weiland. That was Stone Temple Pilots.
That was
Chris
Scott
Cornell,
Weiland.
I think it was Soundgarden.
Okay, Soundgarden, what?
Soundgarden and Audio Slave.
There you go. Okay. Wasn't the biggest fan of them either, Soundgarden, but they do have a few good songs. Everyone had a few good songs in the 90s. I just wasn't a huge fan of everyone, but everyone had a few good songs. I believe I saw Soundgarden at a Lollapalooza. Or was it STP? God, I really shouldn't have drank so much back then. I would remember more. But I had so much fun. I don't know what
90s were fun.
I don't know. I really did have a lot of fun back then. I really did. It was very good times. Very good times. You should just go to concerts, go to fucking comedy shows, drink.
Nobody was sensitive in the 90s.
Yeah, we didn't have social media. There was so many things. We were just tapping into AOL. We had AOL in the late 90s. They were coming up. So we had that coming in, and we were just tapping into the internet at that point. We still had 56K modems. Beep, boop, brr, brr, brr. Remember those?
Yeah.
So we still had those back then, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's just it's not. I'm not gonna say it's gotten better. I'll tell you the truth. Wouldn't mind going back to the 90s. It's all just fucking.
I'm there right with you.
Let's tear these fucking cell towers down and see what happens.
Well, I mean, I guess
even sports was better in the 90s.
I can agree with that. Yeah, the fucking 90s Bulls, so I'd run with that.
Yeah.
Yep. The NBA was so much better in the 90s.
Yeah, but fucking definitely, music back then was fucking amazing. Really.
Okay, well.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're talking about it, we're in this time period because, like, we were saying best voice in grunge was Chris Cornell. Mojo's a big Chris Cornell guy from what I was reading, too. Like, who at the time were you, like, big into? Like, maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be grunge, but in that general sort of umbrella of, like, grunge, alternative rock, that kind of shit.
Grunge alternative. Good. Eric.
Linkin Park count? Linkin Park, or is that more?
I mean, they fall under the 90s umbrella. They were a little bit more. They were very kind of late 90s, more of early 2000s, but it still works.
Yeah. Now, I still was digging the bands from the 80s and stuff like that. They were always come down to Florida because, Florida's just that place where the 80s bands, they're still coming down there. But Pearl Jam was one. I really liked Pearl Jam. Who back in the 90s? I'm trying to think, man. We all pretty much sat at my buddy Jesse's house and would jam Pearl Jam every time we were there, and pretty much just all the popular bands back then. You had Pearl Jam. You had they said we had STP as those. We used to even jam Offspring, 90s Offspring.
Mm-hmm.
Though I loved Offspring. And I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit, man. It was the fucking 90s. I was jamming me some Korn. I was doing some fucking even Limp Bizkit. We talked about this, Mark. I was one. Nirvana.
Yeah.
You gotta throw Nirvana in there. Pantera. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, Mojo. Throw in the fucking Pantera. Fucking go for some Cowboys from Hell right fucking now.
I had, and by I had, I mean my uncle had, and I stole it from him, the Offspring CD Smash. That was the one that had fucking Keep Them Separated, a couple other good ones.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's really the stuff I was listening to. Even if you go a little lighter, you got Black Crowes and stuff like that. I always liked Black Crowes. I thought they had great music.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that. Man, I've got a fucking thing of CDs over there that I got the soundtracks out of that I could go through one night we'll have to do this. We'll have to do 90s music one night. We'll have to just jump into it for no reason.
Actually pretty cool because you could.
Yeah, we did Weebs just said Family Values Tour. Check out me and Smark reviewing that motherfucker on Hollywood Hangout.
Yes.
God damn it, we went through all the fucking 90s bands. Rammstein even.
Yeah, it's it. Back when Green Day was still good.
Oh
yeah, Green Day.
definitely was
Like
listening
you
to
could
Green
chart
Day.
their progress. Like it's like in the early '90s they were good, and then they like closed it out by that song "Fucking Good Riddance," and then it's like you could tell that like the decline was coming, not commercially, but in terms of like actually being able to enjoy their music. For me, at the very least.
And you had your grunge and your that, but you also had your whiny bands back then, like your Wallflowers and Oasis.
I'm so glad, so very glad that like retroactively everybody's like started to shit on them for how corny their lyrics are, because people loved them when I was in high school, and I was not in high school in the 90s. I was in high school in like 2005. And people were still fucking Wonderwall was still that shit.
No.
And I was like, oh my God, people, this is the fucking corniest lyrics. And I'm sorry, Luke Birch is in the chat here, so we should be careful about this. Oasis, of course, the national band of England. But the lyrics were so fucking corny, and now thanks to just people who over abused it on acoustic guitar, like everybody hates Wonderwall now, and I'm just like, thank God.
I was never a big Oasis fan ever, but Bush, there you go, definitely another good band right there by Dirk Bush. We listen to a lot.
See, I don't know, Bush kind of reaches that territory of what you're saying about like whiny bands.
No, they had.
There was a song about like, the hypocrisy of me saying it, but like there was one song where he was like talking about how much he hates his dad or whatever.
Well, there was that, but then I mean, you had some damn good songs by Bush, man. Don't make me pull up don't make me go to YouTube.
Okay, but I'm not even saying that they're bad, but like they were a little bit down tempo and a little bit whiny.
Yeah,
like whiny doesn't necessarily always mean bad. Like people like Stained, and they were whiny as fuck.
I like Stained.
That doesn't mean that they're bad, but that they had some whiny songs.
He was, but I mean that's his style, and literally he transformed into country. He's a country singer now, Aaron Lewis.
We could cover that one day, but yeah, like Dirk said, "Glycerine" was one of the songs that I was thinking of. That's a little bit on the whinier side of things too.
That was.
Don't let the days go by.
Man, now I'm trying to think of I don't know why, but I can't think of any '90s bands that are popping in my head. But
in terms of whininess,
whininess, there were we've pretty much mentioned most of them already, but they were all. There was just so many, like I said, the Wallflowers, which was there was that, there was and there was a bunch of just people coming around that were just so, it was, I mean, in the 80s, pretty much anyone could get a one-hit song, but the 90s were totally different, man. I just thought some of the 90s music was fucking amazing. I actually thought it kind of ruined music for the 2000s because it was so goddamn good.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2000s just stuck with the whining, and it got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you can kind of like draw a line to it, because that unfortunately was like the next evolution in rock music, if you want to look at it that way. It was like sort of the apathy of grunge music led to the whininess of the whole fucking emo movement, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, and I will say I was still jamming Metallica back then because they were still coming out with albums in the 90s, good ones. And none of us mentioned one hell of a fucking 90s band in Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I was definitely jamming some Nine Inch Nails. I mean, come on.
3 Doors Down. Is it 3 Doors Down?
3 Doors Down?
I think they were at the very tail end of the 90s, yeah.
They were. They were a good North Carolina band.
Nickelback?
Yeah,
I think that was 2000, 2001. They were technically a band by then, but like terms of commercial success,
they were 2000s. But you know what?
We're talking about like rock, right? Or
it can be anything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Backstreet Boys and Sync were too.
Yeah, I was never into them. Oh, there you go. Third Eye Blind. Dirk mentioned. Tell you the truth, man. Also, in the 90s, I was jamming a lot of Sublime and 311. Anyone remember 311?
We've surprisingly talked about 311 a lot on this show.
We surprisingly did. Well, I did see them in concert, and that was a very, Very strange concert, but
even outside of that story, we've still talked about, because you did tell the story on the show.
Oh yeah,
but we've talked about 311 quite a bit, surprisingly.
Yeah, we have, man. I don't know why, but David Bowie. I'm Afraid of Americans. Weeble, I got that song. I played it before on this show. But yeah, Trent Reznor, and I know it's taboo now, but I was a Marilyn Manson fan back then too. In the 90s.
I mean, back then it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, back then it kind of wasn't fine, but like everybody had their own, because that was, people were blaming him for like school violence, which was kind of preposterous, but whatever.
Yeah, but I was in Florida, so he was like really like, I mean, I saw him when he was, Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Children back before he was even a popular person. He was a little nothing band just playing in a club called Squeeze back in those days. So, but yeah, man, so many fucking good rock artists from back then, man. But all right, I know I said let's move on once from that, but we probably really need to move on from that.
Yeah, because I could stay on this all day, so we won't get anything done.
I could too. So now we
have to do one show about it one time.
Yeah, it'll happen. So anyway, let's do this. I got one more. Smark, you got a couple more here we'll get into, and then we'll get into AEW. I've got a couple of clips we can play from AEW. Smark also has a clip we need to play, a quick clip, and we'll get into that also. So let me get into this last little story, and then we'll kind of turn it over to Smark for the last bit of stories for wrestling news. So this
Are we doing Rumble picks, or?
I don't think so. We're gonna. Since it's gonna be Saturday, I don't think so. Well, let's see. Let's see what time we have. Let's see how much time we have.
We spent an extensive time talking about 90s music, so we're kind of behind the 8.
Ooh, yeah, we really are. But you know what? We only got a few more things to get into, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, Eric always sends us a bad take. Now I know Bully Ray took the cake for tonight, but we're gonna give you one more here that he sent me. I can't even read this name. I see it, but I can't pronounce it. Stark, but not Tunny. Anyway, someone on Twitter said AWE, but I know they meant AEW, is literally copying WWE at this point, and it's sad. Doing a Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose feud between two former WWE guys. That company is so sad, and it shows why they won't last. If you can't see this problem, then you don't understand how pro wrestling works. Now, I need to tell you who he was replying to when he said that last comment. This person was replying to Paige. Yes, Paige, who grew up in this business, whose parents are in this business, whose parents booked shows, whose parents literally know the wrestling business inside and out. I don't care what you think of that family. I know that family's got a bad name. Fuck all that. Forget about that. It's got nothing to do with this. This person actually said to Paige, if you can't see this problem, then you don't understand how pro wrestling works. You know the sad thing? There's not enough laugh reacts on this comment. But anyway, basically what Paige had said in the beginning was, dude, stop nitpicking everything and just enjoy the wrestling. This is a time where there's so many companies to watch and attend that have great talent on the card. Just be happy wrestling is where it is.
She's right.
But hey, Paige doesn't know the wrestling business, according to this. Paige does not know the wrestling business, Mark. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, obviously, like you said, she was just like a fitness model who just wandered on in off the street.
No, that was
like she had any, history.
No, that was Summer Rae.
Yes,
legendary.
That just makes me laugh. Like, it's dumb on both sides. It's dumb when you tell fans that they don't know what they're talking about because they never wrestled. It's like, yeah, they can still have an opinion on the product though, but it's even fucking dumber when you're telling a wrestler, it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, it's their job. They do.
I'm pretty sure Paige lost sleep over this. I'm sure she went, oh my God, Stark but Natani told me I didn't know wrestling, the business. I'm devastated. I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Of all the things she's had to face from people online, this was surely the worst.
I couldn't even believe when Eric sent this over. I was like, you fucking kidding? She doesn't understand how pro wrestling works. But again, this comes from Dirt Sheet Radio, and strangely, there's a lot of likes, and there's just not enough laugh reacts on here, in my opinion. This should be all laugh reacts, but it's not. I don't think people understood the last sentence, or people don't read shit anyway. So, but there you go. There you go. So, what do you think there, Smart?
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was hilarious. Smart, what do you got? What do you got there?
Yeah, it is funny. There's not too much to put behind that, but
no.
Yeah, it's crazy to just tell any wrestler in general that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but then somebody who actually has it as a family lineage is even funnier.
Well, speaking of comedy, Smart, you got a couple of little things. Or do you want to play the clip first? You want to do the clip, or you want to do the articles?
Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about, you started off with speaking of comedy, but this actually involves the Big Bang Theory, so I don't want to mislead people.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so this should be pretty quick. We'll just breeze through this one here from WrestleNomics. Reruns of The Big Bang Theory are now Dynamite's lead-in since moving to TBS. Dynamite's opening minutes are seeing huge viewership relative to the overall telecast. In May 2021, it was announced that, you already know that, it was announced that AEW would move Dynamite to TBS starting January 5th. Dynamite's TBS debut achieved the show's highest 18 to 49 rating with a 0.43 rating and nearly matched total viewership from an episode 2 weeks previous at 1 million. When Dynamite was in its previous time slot on TNT, it was typically preceded by a movie. Often The Equalizer or The Accountant aired. I like how they go into specifics about that.
Oh, nice.
Now Dynamite has a new lead-in, and it has so far proven to be a significant benefit. The first 3 weeks so far on TBS have resulted in Dynamite opening with the strongest disparity to its audience relative to the telecast overall average, with the exception of twice when NBA games were a lead-in for preemptions. I don't know why that was so hard. The Big Bang Theory has at least 2 hour block on TBS from Monday through Thursday, according to data from ratingsryan.com. That was the first time I read that website name out loud. It just made me laugh. Old Ratings Ryan. Dynamite likely inherits a comparable audience in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic and a larger total viewership from the end of The Big Bang Theory. On January 5th, Dynamite's debut on TBS, The Big Bang Theory started out at 910,000 viewers on average with a 0.27 rating on 18 to 49 and increased to 1,468,000 viewers on average with a 0.34 rating on the 18 to 49 before Dynamite aired. These numbers are the typical averages for The Big Bang Theory during their weeknight block on TBS, and they're among the most watched non-original telecast on cable, despite the final first run of the sitcom airing on CBS in 2019. The next week saw a similar boost on the January 12th night block of The Big Bang Theory, went from 840,000 viewers on average with a 0.21 18 to 49 rating to 1,507,000 viewers on average with a 0.42 18 to 49 rating. Dynamite was watched by 969,000 viewers on average and had a 0.39 18 to 49 rating, nearly matching Raw that week on 18 to 49. And then it goes on to basically talk about, well, I'll throw this in here for you because I think it'll pop you. USA and Fox don't have similar strong lead-ins for Raw and SmackDown. However, Law and Order appears to have given NXT an early boost back when the show was on Wednesdays.
Right.
That load of good that did them, but...
Yeah, you got it. So basically what they're saying is Nielsen TV households are leaving their televisions on after Big Bang Theory.
That's right.
Is basically what they're saying is they walk away during Big Bang Theory. Next thing you know, they come back on and, hey, look, what's this shit?
Mean, the long and short of it is that they just spent like the last 2 hours watching a show about nerds, and then they see Cody Rhodes and they're like, oh, hey, it makes sense.
Yeah. But it's funny they bring up these Nielsen, and let's face it, Nielsen's are the only things that count in ratings are Nielsen households. That's really what matters because we all. I didn't watch. It doesn't matter if you did it. If you're not a Nielsen household, they don't give a fuck about you. You're not counted in ratings anyway. So go screw yourself.
Did we ever talk about this? My family for a while was briefly selected as a Nielsen radio family.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, this is a couple of years back, but they sent us mail, like actual in the mail, a parcel, if you will, and then you had to fill out like what you would listen to on the radio, and it can include like the digital radio, Sirius, and all that kind of shit. And yeah, you just like write down the stations, you'd write down like what day and approximately how long you would listen to it, and then you send it back, and they paid you not a shit ton of money, but you would get like $5-10 every survey.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh wow,
nice,
yeah.
Nice. But anyway, they have these Nielsen ratings up here, and they're for the first 5 minutes. It's like, oh, they get this big bump in the first 5 minutes, and then people realize what the fuck they're watching, and they turn the fucking channel. But that's not really true. They're actually not doing that. It's showing that basically they are still doing all right. Once the show goes, people are leaving it on more than not leaving it on. It does not show the same thing for Raw and SmackDown, though. If you look at these charts,
Right.
Does not at all. It actually just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. So. Good. I mean, AEW got lucky there with their lead, and Big Bang Theory is and was a huge show, and it still is. It's kind of like it's like the nerdy version of Friends is really what it is in popularity, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, not saying I've actually never seen a full episode of Big Bang Theory, but don't hold that against me.
I have no allegiance to either show, so I don't really. I do not care if you wish to insult or any sort of thing like that involving either one of them. But it was interesting because we were talking about like whether or not we thought that moving to TBS was going to help or hurt them. And it just hadn't necessarily accounted for the fact that they were going to be, the Big Bang Theory was going to be the lead-in show for them. And that's apparently been doing quite a bit to help them at least start off strong and then, maintain some of that viewership.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. But I mean, you're right. I didn't even think about what their lead-in was, and Big Bang Theory seems to be a damn good thing for him. So look at that. Look at that. And by the way, when I mentioned comedy earlier, I was actually transitioning into your last story here, which I thought was even funnier than this one.
Yeah, I guess you're bearing the lead a little bit here, but so I think the most logical step when you shut down your doors for operation and you have a relaunch planned several months later, the most logical conclusion is to open up your own Hall of Fame, which is what Ring of Honor is doing. This is from ringofhonorwrestling.com, so I'm going to assume that they're telling the truth. To coincide with Ring of Honor's 20th anniversary, the company is proud to announce the establishment of the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. I'm going to guess this is not a physical Hall of Fame. I'm going to guess that they're not going to break out the brick and mortar for this.
No.
Since its inception, Ring of Honor has created excellence in professional wrestling by giving the best wrestlers on the planet a platform to showcase their talents. Now, Ring of Honor will honor the outstanding athletes who have contributed greatly to making it one of the most influential pro wrestling promotions in the industry. The first inductee in the inaugural Ring of Honor Hall of Fame class will be revealed this Monday. Subsequent inductees will be announced on February 7th, February 14th, that's Valentine's Day, and February 21st. Also, each episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling in February will be devoted to a Hall of Fame inductee, and there will be weekly YouTube specials on the inductees.
Any guessing who's going to be number one? Who's going to be the first one?
That was more or less why I brought this up, was just so that we could do that game.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, probably.
Bryan Danielson.
We got to remember one thing. If they're going to be there for this Hall of Fame, if they have to do a speech or anything on YouTube, Samoa Joe's the only one I can think of that's free right now. That's not contracted by another company. I mean, AEW wouldn't care; they would let someone do this, but WWE ain't letting no one do shit like this.
Yeah,
because ROH. I mean, they have a bunch of ROH guys in AEW too. So
yeah, I mean, AJ Styles. No, he's not doing it. With the Young Bucks.
no,
Nah.
Young Bucks maybe. I think Bryan Danielson because he was considered the godfather of ROH for a little while.
Danielson could be one. I mean, shit, you could even Christopher Daniels could even be thrown in as one. I would say Christopher Daniels was there a very long time.
Yep. Frankie Kazarian, CM Punk.
Kazarian, who recently signed a brand new deal with AEW.
Nice.
But
Briscoes.
Yeah, this is very confusing though. Just the fact that they are doing this. I mean, I get it's their 20th anniversary, but y'all don't even know like what your shows are going to look like. They don't even know if they've got a shows coming. It's like, yeah, let's just do a Hall of Fame. I mean, this is so confusing. It's so mind-boggling. What is this company doing?
Good, because if they're going to be, they don't know how much longer they actually have as terms of their lifespan. They say that they're going to be running full time again, but who knows how long that's going to last. So I guess maybe as just sort of a way to give people their flowers, as it were, just opening up a little bit of a hall, or not opening up because it's not going to be a real fucking place, but doing a Hall of Fame, being able to sort of commemorate the people that meant a lot to your company. I can kind of see it, I guess. It is perplexing that they would do it like right now, but they also did over the weekend. This is not Ring of Honor, but they had the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame. So for whatever reason, there's a lot of Wrestling Hall of Fame going on.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, we do need some sort of Hall of Fame for Maria's ass. Maybe ROH can accommodate that for us. I mean, some of the greatest pictures of her behind is on that show. So maybe we can get something out of this, is all I'm saying. I know. I'm a sick, perverted, older gentleman. What am I going to do?
Get the cameraman that did some of those shots.
I'd like to shake that guy's hand. Well,
this is a guy with like a fucking handlebar mustache.
I'll just buy him a beer, actually. I'm not going to shake his hand.
It was probably her husband.
Working the camera?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to like be shaking his hands because you don't know what's gonna be on those.
No,
fingers.
I'll buy him a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I changed my mind. I thought about that, Smart. Yeah, I did. Meanwhile, those cameramen are underpaid. But anyway, I think we're good on that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how much are we going to get into on this? It's baffling why they would do something like this. This company is making some very strange moves, but they said wait till April, and we'll see something. So don't forget, April Fool's Day, they have a show. Just be prepared. Be prepared if you go. This could be something. Don't forget what day it is.
I was going to ask that. What day is April Fool's Day this year?
April 1st.
No, I mean,
it sneaks up on you every
Friday.
year.
It's Friday.
Is it a Friday? Let me take a look.
Listen, I'm on the fourth beer. Leave me alone, okay? I haven't drank in a week and a half. Leave me alone.
Yeah, it is a Friday. How about that?
Yeah.
And then you got like WrestleMania weekend not too long from there. So
yeah, exactly. So, jeez, they should do WrestleMania on April Fool's Day. They'd have an excuse at least. We were kidding. Come on, you didn't take that seriously, did you? Did you? You did? Oh shit.
Well, right now
WrestleMania is April 2nd, right?
Well, they're doing 2 days.
6. I think it's the 6th and the 7th. I think.
Let me look at it.
Yeah, let me look at the fucking calendar here. I know when it is, but I can't think of it. No, it can't be April 6th. Is that my wife's birthday? 4/6. Yes, that can't. It's not the 6th. It's the 8th and no. Hold. February, March, April
2nd and 3rd.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah, because you said ROH is in the coming back on
Friday the
weekend,
1st.
so.
Friday the 1st. Yeah. So, oh, geez. Thank God it's not on the wife's birthday this year. Whew, thank God.
And apparently that Saturday they're going to be doing the NXT show like in the morning/afternoon, and then the WrestleMania at night. So people are already just like wanting to kill themselves because it's just too much wrestling.
Yeah,
Matinee. They're calling it matinee.
Oh, now they're making up fancy words. This whole making up words shit needs to stop. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, I just saw into the future because they're going to use this as an opportunity to be like, it was the most watched matinee in sports entertainment history. It's like, it was the only fucking one. You guys are the only assholes that ran 2 shows in one night.
Yeah, that is kind of what they do. They make their own history.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Good for them. Good for them. All right, let's now, Smark, you did have one clip you wanted to play. It was a clip of Raw, and we do have a couple clips of AEW that we'll play.
Yes, there's not too much needed to set this up. They were doing Brock Lesnar is going to be wrestling Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble, and they were doing a weigh-in segment, which probably went a lot better than the one that they did in AEW, which was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
But one of from this clip, Brock Lesnar is dressed like a cowboy because Brock Lesnar is a cowboy if he wants to be a cowboy. I'm not going to tell him any different. So he's got on this fucking cowboy hat, this leather jacket. He's just dressed fucking from head to toe to the nines, which is inconvenient for a weigh-in, and that's where we run into a problem here, and that's where the clip starts, I believe.
And before we get into the clip, I'm noticing the scale they have in the ring, and it's not like a boxing weigh-in scale. It's like a carnival scale.
They have like a fucking guy that just guesses their weight.
Yes, they're literally, Corey Graves should be behind it guessing someone's weight. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what it looks like. It you know what it is? It's the scale when you walk into the grocery store and they have the old school red circle scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas, so it might not be. You guys have some places have those?
I've never seen them, but I have heard of them. Like, I've never had any by me, but like the ones that you just fucking step right onto.
Go to a 50s diner. Some of them still have these. Matter of fact, the diner I went to today, that's actually called The Diner, has one of these. So it's funny, you see a lot of the elderly people, they weigh themselves before they leave. Just kind of what you see every day. This place
That is literally the last thing I would want to do after eating. Like, I know I don't want to know how fat. I just know that I am and move on.
Well, walking into that little diner it takes me right back to South Florida because it's a very homey type diner place. It's been there forever, and during lunch, and I mean there's a lot of elderly people that come on in there. They get believe there's a down the road, there's a home, and they bus it down there, and it's just funny to watch them. It brings me right back to South Florida, which is like retirement central. So anyway, this has nothing to do with Brock Lesnar, and I believe Weebs was trying to get me to do an impression back here, and I just can't. I can't. Vinny Barbarino, so confused. I'm so confused. Oh. Anyway, here we go. Brock Lesnar. You know what would help? Volume.
Yeah.
Unmuting. Let me unmute it. Let me do that. Okay, I'm unmuted. I got volume here. Let's do this.
Pardon me, Mr. Lesnar, but I don't know if that's appropriate attire for a weigh-in.
Mr. Graves, would you like for me to get naked for you? How about we just carry on with the weigh-in, please?
Now he is in a flannel jacket. He has on a cowboy hat, and Corey looks like a hipster game show host. I don't know what else. When did this mustache come in on Mr. Graves?
God only knows. It seems like it's been there for a minute, though.
He looks like a hipster game show host. Like the show is like, which coffee is stronger or something.
Organic or not, find out tonight with Corey
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
I
Was
was gonna
this
say he looks like the guy from The Simpsons. Like,
was this up a cat's ass? Yes or no?
Was this up my ass? Find out next on the game show. Yeah, he does kind of look like he's almost like he's like a Ryan Seacrest type, but he has tattoos. So it's like, oh no, he's a bad boy. It's, all right, whatever.
Ooh, he'd be Ryan Seacrest.
There you go. For the Zumas.
I have no clue. No,
Ryan
remember
Seacrest.
the 90s, everything had the Z. I was calling back the
Well, no, X. Everything had an X.
and a Z, yeah.
Well, yeah, and a Z at the
Like
end.
the
true,
Hardy
'cause you had
Boys
fucking-
and the rules and
That's true.
you know, every time I have to explain the joke, it just loses its whole thing. Anyway,
That's on me. I was a bad teammate there. I left you hanging.
I don't think it's a problem. Let's get into
You
this.
threw the alley oop, and I just like watched it fall off the backboard. I didn't even try to dunk it.
It's all right. I fell and broke my leg, and you laughed. It's cool.
Oh, well, you know, as I would. It's not you personally. Just anytime somebody gets injured.
I didn't take it personally. I really didn't. I didn't take it personally. I know that's what you do. Usually when I fall and break my leg, you chuckle. It's been that way for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get it. You're just an evil son of a bitch.
Yeah, you know, more or less.
All right. Let's get into this show that we call AEW, guys. What do you think?
yes, sir.
All right, let's knock this out. Tonight, once again, was Beach Break that they had. And again, it was in Ohio. And I get why they did it. It's cold right now. And they did it like a little, that's why it's called Beach Break. You're taking a break from the cold weather. I get it. I get it. It was still stupid. It's still stupid. I'm literally trying to like explain it for them on how stupid it was, which I probably shouldn't do. But anyway.
Yeah.
We kick off with the show. We kick off with the show. We kick off the show with the ladder match for the TNT undisputed TNT Championship, Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes. This match, literally, in my opinion, had one purpose, was to try to get Cody over again.
I think he turned heel. He looked like he turned.
It did seem that way when he gave old Fuego del Sol, the old
Spike
pile driver. You'd think that. But I will say there was some really good, I mean, barring all that, good match. Good awesome crossroads from Cody off the ladder. And by the way, big props to the referee for catching the ladder before it bounced off the ropes and went back at the guys. Fuck yeah. Nice fucking good reflexes there. Sammy Guevara with two insane dives off the ladder. The first one obviously was the cutter, the diamond cutter we got off of the ladder. The second one was just that ridiculous dive onto the other ladder where it just looked like there was no give. That had to hurt both guys.
Oh, yeah.
That dive onto the bottom of the, because he was really, that did not look like it. Guevara literally.
And the suplex.
I like that.
Off the ladder, too.
Yeah, but I love that when he did that move. Excalibur was like, I think he got whiplash there.
Yeah.
Like, it fucking looked like it. But holy hell, what a match. It really was a good match. And Guevara did end up winning, making him the undisputed TNT champion.
Yeah, there was no question he was winning it. At least for me, I think he won.
But why did Cody have to even take the title off him to begin with?
That's a good question.
I mean,
I think it was because Sammy never beat him. So this was a way to beat him by winning the title from him.
Or he could have just not done any of this, and we could have done this way down the road. No pun intended. There was no reason to take.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no, first of all, there was no reason to take the title off of Sammy. He was doing fine with it. There was nothing wrong with it. Second, there was no reason to have an interim champion if you were just going to give it back to Sammy Guevara. none of this made sense. This sounded like a very convoluted Cody Rhodes idea, and it just match was really good, but the storyline itself was just, it fell flat with me. Good match.
Yeah.
Though. Good match. Smart.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense because I was surprised when he won on Christmas. What's the point of Cody winning it? He didn't do anything.
I know he got COVID and that threw a little monkey wrench in it, but it was a week.
Yeah.
He was gone for a week. I mean, it's like he was expecting the fans to start chanting, "You still got it" or something.
Right.
Fuck.
I think, to be cynical about it, I think they just kind of did something that like WWE would do is they had Go Big Show coming back, so they just gave him the belt so that they could be part of the promotion of the show. And then now that they've gone a couple episodes into the season, it's time to switch that back up. And I totally agree with you that just doing the interim championship thing was a bad idea. I understand, like you said, he had COVID, so he couldn't be at Battle of the Belts. But if he's only going to be gone for a week, why bother? Like, just have a different title being defended as the main event or whatever. Or even just as much as, like, okay, you set up an interim champion, have Cody, like, sit out for at least a month or two. And then that way he can come back and this can be a thing that, he's the real champion and he's here to defend his title and all that. It's like he was gone for a week. It reminded me of that shit where they had like Punk won the title WWE and then they had that tournament and then like the next week Punk came back.
Yeah.
And it was Punk Cena for the title. I was like, why? Why do like you could like let the shit simmer.
Well,
they should have saved it for final Revolution. Whatever the next view is.
Yeah, but Cody Rhodes in his mind, this was his Razor versus Shawn Michaels for the IC title, the undisputed IC title. And seriously, dude, that's how Cody thinks. Eric, you admit it. That's what he was thinking.
Yeah. And I'm a big Cody fan, and I would still say that.
That's fine. You're man enough to at least admit that the guy is still an egotistical bastard. That's I respect that. After that, great match. I mean, like I said, not much more we can say about it. We all said the main spots that really hit hard. So Wardlow comes out after that. He's got Sean Spears with him. Sean Spears just takes a seat at the top of the ramp. Wardlow was Wardlow versus Elijah Dean and James Alexander. This was a handicap match. Basically, this match was Wardlow powerbombing the shit out of two guys to win the match. That was it.
Yeah. And it was in his hometown, so you got the hometown pop.
Yeah, it was really just to get him out there in his hometown to kick some ass and job done. Anything else?
No,
No,
not really.
he is over, and I'm interested to see what they do with him.
Yeah,
and when they pull the trigger on him turning babyface.
Yeah, I will say the fact that they did keep the whole thing going on when the whole kind of the aura of Wardlow being this kind of, not sure what he's going to do, who he's going to stay with, or, when he's finally going to break from the whole Pinnacle thing in MJF. I like that they continued it down with the Punk thing, which we'll get to in just a minute here. That they actually did a little continuation, which was pretty rare to see in wrestling. Continuity. That's the word I was looking for. After that, though, we had Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz versus 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Guys, we saw obvious tension here between Inner Circle, and this was obviously stemming from that little thing last week with Eddie Kingston. Now, he is going to be gone for a while. He's got an orbital to his eye socket, orbital injury, so he's going to be out for a few weeks. We'll see Eddie Kingston back when he's all healed up, ready to go. Santana did get the win, but it wasn't without the help of Jericho. But like I said, there was obvious tension between this match. They were blind tagging each other in and doing some, just kind of arguing a little bit. But at the end, Santana realized he never would have won that match without Jericho. I believe that was the story they were telling in that match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good match, though. I mean, I gotta say, with all the matches tonight, I really can't bitch about any of the fucking matches that were out there. Good matches. Just that whole first storyline was just so bullshit convoluted that it just kind of, I'm not gonna say it took me out of the whole show, but it just got me sort of looking at my phone a little bit. I will say that.
I mean, if anything, I was just glad that they started with that, because you just get out of the way.
Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, obviously there was another big match tonight that we needed to get done for the main event there. So, all right. After that match, which, like I said, was a damn good match, but like I said, they're telling the story there. I got a feeling we're not going to see Inner Circle break up, but I still also don't think that we're going to see Inner Circle get into it with Santana and Ortiz. This is going to be another convoluted storyline that we're probably going to bitch about in about 3 weeks. I've got a feeling. So after that, though, we had this Archer versus Page promo. And I liked this, man. I thought this was a fucking really good promo. Matter of fact, if during the show,
I think I missed this one.
Well,
this part.
Do not worry about it. If you go to the AEW on used to be AEW on TNT, now it's AEW on TV. They actually put these up during the show, like right after they'll play stuff like this. So I do have it here, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We do find out that match is little more than just a match. Let's do this. Oh, one more time. Here we go.
Out, cowboy, until the truth comes home. When we fight, it's not going to be any normal fight. It's going to be my fight. It's going to be a Texas death match. And I'm going to make sure that you are not breathing.
This is the first time we've seen Lance Archer in months!
I said I wanted a challenger, and damn, it looks like I got a good one. Hangman Adam Page versus Lance Archer for the AEW World Championship.
Hey, Hangman, just to let you know, Lance noted that it was a Texas death match.
What? If it's a Texas death match you want, Lance, fine, then you got one in 2 weeks. Everybody dies, right? That's what you say? Everybody dies. So give me the blackout, choke slam me to the abyss. And I will climb back through all 9 layers and bring hell with me.
All right. I like that. I thought that was a good little promo by them. And once again, sets up a Texas death match.
On Dynamite, or is it when it's final resolution? I mean, not final resolution, but the next pay-per-view.
I believe they actually said this was at.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. When did they?
They said 2 weeks.
2 weeks, which is that
Could
Revolution?
be another Dynamite, I think.
Might be, but I think it might be Revolution. Is
I
Revolution?
think Revolution's in March, but let me make a little.
Is it? All right. Then you're probably right. So I'm not sure when the hell it was, but it was still I really liked this between them, and I love that right after whoever was doing the recording said, "Yeah, Lance Archer just said it's a Texas death match." Paige had this fucking amazingly oh, what? The look on his face was priceless. Absolutely priceless. I thought it was good.
Yeah, March 6th for Revolution.
All right, so it's not Revolution.
Okay.
It's just a Dynamite in a couple weeks. So, and this next segment actually sets up a match for next week that we get Punk. He comes out. I will admit I did miss a little bit of this promo. I came in here and started getting a little bit of stuff ready during this promo. I did hear most of what he said. He was shit talking MJF, of course. This whole thing. He's sitting there with the scarf in his hand from the week before. MJF comes out and he makes a match for next week in Illinois, which of course Chicago, CM Punk, Chicago. We know how this goes here. Now we didn't think, and MJF was thinking, who's he going to do? And it was CM Punk, and finally he says MJF versus MJF. So there we go. But I thought it was after they made the match that the promo actually got a lot better. We got MJF saying that after I win, Punk is going to leave wrestling again. And man, Punk's rebuttal was pretty brutal. I like what they're doing. They're pretty much just going out there and just it sounds like it's some of this is coming off the cuff, and both these guys can do that. So, but MJF brings out Pinnacle. We get Spears, who wasn't coming out with them. He jumps Punk from behind. All of Pinnacle starts to beat the shit out of CM Punk, except Wardlow. You got Wardlow sitting back still until finally MJF tells Wardlow to powerbomb Punk. Spears lays down a chair because he's the chairman. So he laid a chair down for Wardlow to powerbomb Punk on. Wardlow hesitated, but he did it. So, and man, MJF just sat on CM Punk. That had to hurt.
Mm-hmm. He sat on his chest, cross-legged, as CM Punk does.
Like Indian, yeah, except it was like, you're sitting Indian style on a person. That couldn't have felt good. But basically, we got MJF saying he'll see him in Chicago. And one last clip for the show, CM Punk, the beginning of it, 52-second clip, and that's going to be the last one for the show. Unmute, play.
First and last time that name will get chanted. And look, from last week, I got myself a little bit of a souvenir.
The scarf.
Stylish. Looks good on him. Really frames his face.
That's one of his highlights of his life, framing his face.
No, it does not look good on me. It doesn't look good on anybody. I thought for a heartbeat, as I snatched this while it was still around his pencil little neck, that maybe, just maybe, I could I don't know, challenge him to a match, see if he really wanted this back. I thought maybe this was sentimental to him. And then I used Google and I saw that for $5 you get a 12-pack on Amazon. It's just as cheap as his personality.
Great line.
That's awesome.
Punk was on fire tonight, man. He really was. He really was. Like I said, I did miss some of it, but from what I heard, Punk was doing good tonight. And you know what? When you got a guy like MJF to kind of bounce off of, someone who can, keep up with someone who can do something on the fly like that, I think that kind of pushes Punk just a little more, and I think it pushes MJF a little more. So it looks like they're both kind of pushing each other to just kind of take it a step further and a step further, which makes for great promos when they're not scripted. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. Anyone got anything more on that?
No, it was a really good segment.
No.
All right. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was a really good segment. Like I said, I thought that it was a good thing that they kind of did the continuity and continued Wardlow still being, it's literally that's something you would see in WWE, is the fact that they would do one thing, one segment, and then he would come out and, wouldn't even have a problem with doing what he did. So I'm glad they kind of made this all make sense in one show. Gonna get through this one quick too. This was legit Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. Red Velvet didn't waste no time coming to the ring. She just ran to the fucking ring. But Layla did pick up the win. I still think Layla Hirsch is good. I know she is a tiny, tiny, tiny little thing, but she's not built like a tiny little thing. And what she does still looks believable, and I like her, and I think she's actually improving more and more in the ring. She wasn't that great just even a few months ago, but I think she's definitely improving. After the match, after the match, she gets Red. She doesn't stop. She gets Red Velvet. I have to say her whole name. I feel weird doing that. She gets her in an armbar, and then Chris Statlander runs out for the save. Chases her out of the ring. They kind of just have a little stare down. Now, remember, they were all together at one point. So, once again, just kind of keeping the tension going on between some of these factions. And I'm not sure. It looks like they're just looking to break up a few of these factions and put some more singles talent out there.
Could be.
For men
Either that
and
or
women.
just retool some of the factions, break some up, change the formula, add a couple of members to existing ones or create new ones, what have you. They definitely got very stable heavy for a minute there.
Yeah, and you're right. They do need to shake it up a little bit. So, ooh, they should have a draft. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
See, I think they should have a giraffe.
A giraffe.
Mm-hmm.
There you
I mean,
go.
so the Toys R Us mascot's not doing anything these days. Old Jeffrey.
Yeah, we could bring Jeffrey back. Good idea. All right, let's. Enough joking, Smart. Jesus Christ, we're trying to get through this shit, man. My God.
I'm sorry.
Take this shit seriously or fuck off. My God. All right. After that little Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet thing, we got a cool little. I really like this. This was a good one too with Malachi Black and Brody King. I was hoping they were going to post that one on that website, but they didn't. But these two together are very, very intimidating. You've got Aleister Black, who is not a small person, already kind of this dark character who's an intimidating character in himself. Then you have this other guy who is this giant mountain of a man and intimidating. So I don't know, man. I think it's this is a pretty good tag team right here. I'm liking it, and like I said, I'm not really familiar with Brody King's work, but I'm liking what I see so far, and definitely looking forward to seeing a lot more from him.
It looks like they're going to be a good tag team.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Most definitely.
Bring a lot to the tag team division.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was it just me, and I'm not trying to imply that he's going to be joining them or anything of the sort, but did it seem like Black's cadence in his promo a little bit Wyatt-esque?
A little bit. I mean, he's kind of trying to recruit, so you got to have that cadence when you're recruiting people, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely see it as the beginning Bray Wyatt kind of when he was doing the swamp character in the beginning.
Yeah, the old Cape Fear, the NXT days for sure.
Yeah.
I think it would be pretty cool, those three together.
It would be, but I'll tell you, man, that's one right there you save for a big day. Because if he did come into that company and join that group, that would be that'd be some big fucking news right there, especially if they could keep it quiet.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that would be for a revolution or something like that. And listen, Tony Khan.
Oh yeah.
Tony Khan is definitely saying that there's a lot more in store, and he's letting people go also. Which, once again, he's letting people out of their contracts. Which that means once they're out of their contracts, they go where they want to go. They don't have 30 days. They don't have any time constraints on them. So it's a little better than firing people.
Yep.
So,
go
ahead.
Do you think he would be the leader of the group? They would reveal him as the leader.
Bray? No. I think right now you've got to keep Aleister as a leader. I mean, it's the House of Black.
Oh, yeah.
So, no way. He could definitely come in and join right up and just be another guy for a little while. And eventually they'd break these guys up too, and they'd all be out on their own. So, wouldn't matter much anyway. Or they even, find a way to split off. I believe he's calling himself Wyndham now. So
this is where. Sorry.
No, I'm done.
I was gonna say maybe this is a way to bring in the trio titles.
Could be. Most definitely could be. But after that, we get Guevara coming back out. And I love that he's doing this cue card thing or signs, whatever you want to call them. This was a pretty cool one. I like that he was basically sitting there shit-talking Cody like, I didn't play politics, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I went out there, I did the work, and I still kicked your fucking ass. I might have paraphrased. There a little bit.
Not by too much.
No, not really by too much. But it was cool, and he was out there with Fuego del Sol one more time. So pretty cool. And I'm just liking that they kind of brought these back. But I do have to say that was a very odd time for a picture-in-picture break, just to do that only.
Yeah, he didn't even have like a follow-up segment. That was just the end of them for that night.
That was literally what they went to picture-in-picture for, and I was like, wow, y'all could have just not wasted that and put it somewhere else. But anyway, you know what? Maybe not. Who knows? But anyway, I thought it was stupid. We get Tony Schiavone after that. He's in the ring. He's with Britt Baker. She's basically talking about her PWI awards and this and that. Truthfully, it was a good promo. Once again, Britt Baker has turned me. I did not appreciate her in the beginning, but she's definitely turned me. She's fucking amazing at this point.
I love the promo because she was shit talking the Cleveland Browns. So.
Oh, you crazy sports fans. Anyway, Britt Baker, obviously, pretty much anytime she's out there, either in the ring or on the mic, she's doing really good stuff lately. So I'm just, like I said, I didn't know much about her in the beginning, but she quickly turned me, and it's amazing. She got injured, and I actually liked her more while she was injured, doing just not even wrestling, just doing bullshit segments, which were hilarious, and I really liked her during it. So she was another one that was kind of like the MVP of the COVID AEW era. So,
oh yeah, her and Tony Schiavone have good chemistry when they do segments.
You know, it's funny if you really think about it. For both companies, you know, WWE and AEW, women were the MVPs of the COVID era, which is Britt Baker for AEW, and I've said before, I think that Asuka was WWE's MVP during that time. She was just having a good old time. She was having a great time, and it was cool to watch. But anyway, Vicky Guerrero.
That was the only time they've used her right. Used her at all, and then ever since Charlotte and Becky came back. I mean, I know she's injured now, but we'll see what happens when she comes back. But with Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. 100% we will. So after that, we get Vicky Guerrero. She comes out with Nyla Rose, calls out Ruby Soho, and I guess they have a match next week. I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
That was that.
It's weird because I think it might have even been Rampage.
Oh,
but
it
they
was.
kept saying next week when they were referring to Rampage. So, like, I don't know if they filmed this shit like a week before, because this happened on like 2 or 3 segments where they announced a match for Rampage, but then they said next week.
I think you're right. It is on Rampage. You're right. You're right. It is.
Okay.
Oh, I should not be drinking beer this late, but who cares? I have to be up soon anyway. Oh, I'll just drink one on the way to work.
There you go.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Jokes. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that. I'll have a shot.
I knew you were joking.
Yeah, I'll do a shot.
I was going to say, if you could stop winking into the camera as you say that.
My camera's not on, sir. Is
That
it?
doesn't mean that you're not winking into it.
Oh, that's called the drunk eye, sir.
Okay. Gave her the old drunk eye.
My left eye does droop when I get drunk.
Is that Ricky? Is that Robert Gibson's problem? Is he just like consistently drunk all the time?
Yeah, no, me, it's actually my cluster headaches. But anyway, that's what I was told by a doctor. That's the reason my eye droops when I'm really drunk, because my cluster headaches they're basically mini strokes. And anyway, no reason to talk about those. I don't even want to talk about them. I'll wake up with one if I do. For some reason, you talk about those motherfuckers and they come back. So let's just.
Do you think if Shawn Michaels got drunk again, his eyes would just like correct themselves? He'd be staring straight forward.
I think someone just needs to slap shit out of him a few times.
That could work.
Maybe a good, maybe I don't know. I mean, at this point, maybe he could just miss a springboard off the ropes or something and knock him back in. But who knows?
I was trying to think. Well, shit, I guess the only person that's left that hates him is Bret Hart. Because I was thinking about like who hates him that's still alive. A lot of people that hated him just mysteriously passed on.
Jesus Christ, he's the Hillary Clinton of wrestling.
That's it. Bam Bam hated him, he's dead. Fucking Vader hated him, he's dead. Chris Candido hated him, he's dead.
Damn.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about this one night. But anyway, not tonight.
Oh, that is a great. If we didn't already phrase this as a joke, this would have been a great fucking conspiracy theory video to make on YouTube. It'd been total fucking ass and bullshit, but it would have gotten so many views.
Oh, so we think. Anyway, all right, let's get to this main event, guys. I got to get some sleep. I've been sick too, which is even worse. You guys can hear it. Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole, lights out match, no DQ, no this, no that. God damn, there was like 20 fucking stipulations last week when they could have just went with, like I said, lights out match. That's all we needed to hear. I would say out of all the great parts of the match, one of the most talked about parts of the match is going to be when Adam Cole reaches down, pulls out a chair. He's struggling because Danhausen is connected to the chair. It was the oddest, strangest, yet coolest debut I've ever seen from anybody. Even if it was a one-off. Because I know he is injured right now. His leg was broken. There was just a little thing that he is definitely healing faster than doctors thought, but he was still limping away if you didn't notice.
It is not a one-off. Tony Khan tweeted, the good old graphic Danhausen is all elite.
Awesome for him. People have been saying that would be a great pickup for him, and then the guy got fucking hurt. So, awesome right there. Good shit. And listen, they're bringing the guy in hurt. Mm-hmm. So they got to see something in him. Another guy I am not completely up on his work, but I've seen a lot of this guy. I see a lot of people love this guy. And I would say over the last 6 or 7 months, I've heard a lot about him. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to this too.
I don't like him or his fan base, but he is really over. I will say that much.
Okay.
Who is this again?
Danhausen.
He came from
ROH, right?
Yeah, he was in Ring of Honor for a little while. Yeah. He was kind of one of those people that just got over just being on the indies in general.
Being on the indies.
And parlayed that into a Ring of Honor run, and then he wasn't there for that much longer until he was only there for a couple of months before they shut down, and then he got injured. So he's kind of had a bad run of luck, but landed on his feet.
But he's also that's what got him injured in the first place, Mark.
Yeah, I guess poorly worded for somebody who is suffering a broken leg, but it is what it is.
Anyway, I mean, I listen, and he's very very good on social media, which is important to get yourself over nowadays. So that's another reason he's getting himself over. He's very smart on social media. I really hate to use the word talented for a social media person, but he kind of is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't like him, but he's gotten himself over quite a bit. He's great at networking and promoting himself, getting the YouTube channel over, getting the social media over, getting the fans to campaign for him to get signed in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, this guy put out a fake A&W, he got an application and made jokes on it, and A&W literally joked back with him. It was like, "You're hired, Hausen." Mm-hmm. So this guy got A&W, the burger root beer company, to respond to him. Again, I hate using the word talented for someone on social media, but the guy knows what he's doing, and he's very, very, very smart with social media. So, and he's got himself over, like Smart said, and like I said, I'm not completely up to date on any of his work, but I'm looking forward to seeing him. I like the character. I like the whole thing. Sting, Darby Allin, Danhausen, trios.
Yeah, perhaps.
Just saying.
That would be awesome.
I mean,
it is mildly funny, though, because the show happened in Cleveland, and there was a contingent of people who believed that we might be seeing Johnny Gargano, and that's you got Danhausen. Which actually, for a lot of people, they would prefer that, but it's still sort of an interesting. If you were tuning in thinking that that's what was going to happen, that's a pretty interesting. I don't want to say bait and switch because they never, promoted that he was going to be there. But for your expectations, that's a little bit of a swerve.
Can we just can we just let Johnny Gargano be with his wife and have a child?
And he's doing all right for himself.
Let's just leave him alone and let him be with his wife while in this time and enjoy this time and have a kid. Let's just let him be and not fucking make him go back to work. Please. Please.
Yeah, when he's ready to come back, he'll come back.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure he did a Twitch stream the other day wearing a children's Iron Man costume, so I think he's doing all right for himself. He's enjoying himself.
He's fine. Like I said, let him, dude. Let me tell you something. Shit like that. This guy's gonna be a great dad.
Mm-hmm.
When you're still a kid yourself, you're gonna be one great dad. But anyway,
although I wonder if that causes an issue because like he's got a big ass collection of like fucking action figures and comic books and shit, a whole bunch of things that are all still in their packaging. So it seems like that would be a real danger to have kids around that shit. Not that I would care, but I mean like that if you're a collector in the way that he might be.
Mm-hmm. He'll learn quickly to lock those up. Very quickly. Yep. Very, very quickly. I would say within 18 months.
He'll probably have a storage room.
Once they're walking, you're fucked.
Oh, yes.
I'll put it that way. But anyway, after this whole Danhausen thing, Cole comes out. Cole back in the match. He sits there and he calls out Brandon Cutler. Wheeler Utah stops him. This just turns into a whole clusterfuck of his group and their group and groups and groupie stuff. Cole at this point goes for the low blow while the referee is distracted. Cassidy, wouldn't matter to no DQ match. Cassidy though doesn't move, doesn't sell it, and he pulls out. He had a cup on. He's thinking. This brings us to the ending, which was one of those strangest endings I think I've seen in a match. It looked like they were hugging at the end. I mean, I know they were hugging. I know that's a whole best friends thing, but it was weird that literally, like right at the end there, Cole like turned around, like right up against him. It was just a very odd ending.
Where it looked like he was very obviously getting the spot set in place.
Yes, they were setting for the spot, but literally because Orange Cassidy had his arms around him, he had to like shimmy like a penguin.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward.
He penguin shimmied for the spot. I'm glad Orange Cassidy got the win. I will say I was a little bit shocked to see Cole lose this match, but especially just coming over. But
yeah, but it was an unsanctioned match, so does it really count on his record?
That's the thing. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's unsanctioned. Technically, it didn't count, even though those were ref. They had, music. I gotta say, I've said this before. When you have an unsanctioned match, there should be no music, and the ref needs to be there. I get it to count, but you shouldn't have music. You shouldn't have nothing. It should just be a stripped down fucking match.
I agree. That also sets up the opportunity for somebody to fucking walk out with like a boombox because they're just so far up their own ass that they just bring their own theme song.
Brock Lesnar holding the boombox. I remember that. Shit. Good shit.
I do remember that.
Good shit right there. So, but anyway, like I said, I think it was good that Cassidy got the win here, but I was a little surprised. A little bit. Not much, but a little bit. But like Eric just said, it didn't matter who won, who lost. It was just a non-sanctioned match anyway. So, guys, I think we got through it.
Indeed.
I think we did.
Yep.
It is late. Very late. And I need to finish this beer. I'm not going to finish the sixth one, and I will go ahead and take my ass to bed after this. But I guess we got time to go ahead and knock out plugs one more time. And there we go. Music's already started. Eric, go ahead, kick off the plugs.
Listen to Everything Unscripted podcast. Tomorrow we'll be doing previewing the Championship Sunday on Hard Hits, and then Friday we'll be doing rebooking 5 different Royal Rumbles: 94, 97, 2000, 2001, and I believe the 5th one will be 2004, but it's still being decided on polls. And then Saturday we'll be doing Unlimited for top 10 greatest quarterbacks for all time, and then Sunday we'll be Scaredy Cats.
All right. Nice. And, of course, that means you guys need to be checking out the High Marks also. That's right. It's Cheeseman Mojo. It's G-Wiz. Check them out Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. And you can also go to YouTube and check them out right there on the same network, Metal Mint Network right there. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades. They are the Inhumans. They are on the Inhuman Experience. You should already be subscribed. If you're not, you should be ashamed of yourself. And you should go ahead and do it so you're not ashamed of yourself anymore. And, of course, Stephen Milan, he's out there sharing the show, and we appreciate it. Letterboxd.com/Stephen Milan. There's 2 L's in Milan. Go ahead over there, check him out. He is reviewing movies, and I will be around sometime over the weekend doing Roadhouse. You know what? Subscribe to YouTube. Then you'll know when I'm on. Make sure you hit that little bell so you can get alerted, and you'll know when I'm on, and I'm going to do it live on YouTube, so check that out.
Mondays, 8:30 p.m. on the Metal Mid Podcast Network. It is Cheese on Sports with G-Wiz, Cheese, Luke Birch, myself, as well as Matt. Be sure to check out the Mo Dirk City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirk. And last but never least, be sure to check out Planet Rack on Tour. So Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes of Season 1 are available for you. Season 2 is rolling out as we speak, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, because you shouldn't.
There you go. All right, folks. It is late. I appreciate everybody hanging with us for this long. There you go. On that note, this weekend, don't forget we're going to be doing Royal Rumble. So, check us out. See y'all Saturday night. See you.
Later.
Band last song. You can't stay here. You got to go home. Go home. Go home. It's time to take your truck.